Selena. It's a bad baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them wheels on and roll.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good. We can do whatever we want to do now. I'm in my bag right now. And I got a feeling, babe. Yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other. With the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana boo boo.
Hello. I hope everybody is doing well. Just got home, so I am in my relaxed clothes today. Just chilling, just having a good old Saturday. I would love to again have my wonderful guest, BRAINWAVEZZ. BRAINWAVEZZ is in the house. Yes, he is. I'm really happy to see him today. I'm really happy for those who will have joined us and will join us. Thank you, Swift. I appreciate you for being a member. Good to see you. Hey, Golden. Hey, Black Ubiquity. How are you? Good to see you. And those who will come in a little later, it's good to see you as well. I'm going to go ahead and count down today. But like I said, I just got home, so I'm a little how can you say this, just I got a lot of energy, but it's like at the same time I'm a little tired too, so I'm gonna go ahead and calm down. But I wanted to come on here just to say hello to you guys, and I hope everything is well. BRAINWAVEZZ, I'm gonna go ahead and calm down. You don't have to cam up unless you want to, so it's up to you. You want to?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? You already know I have to always show my face on camera. I mean, unless I'm conducting some type of business or something like that, I'm going to cam up all the time, whether I'm tired. I'm tired right now. I've been driving.
Well, since you're tired, I'm a cam up then. I'm a cam up. See, now you don't make me feel guilty. So I'm going to cam up. I need to get a fan or something because like I said, I just got in the house. So it is really humid outside in Dallas, Texas, y'all. Really humid. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, BRAINWAVEZZ. It's always a pleasure. We're just gonna just go with the flow in this conversation, just like we did the last time. Just like two old friends talking and just hanging out. So, first of all, we started out on our first interview. You told us what the Israelite community is. You told me a little bit about what you used to be into and how you transitioned from that to where you are now, which is a testimony within itself. We talked about your relationships with Brother Newbreed as well as Brother Ringo, and how all of the situations started with your, I'm not going to say downfall, but the relationship being a downfall. Basically, it's like going down the dumps. You found out, you thought somebody liked you, you thought Newbreed liked you, wanted to work with you, just to find out that he didn't like you anyway. So we talked a little bit about that, just to do a little recap. We talked about your relationship with Ringo and some of the ups and downs that you kind of had with that situation. So this is the reason why I named this Staying Committed to a Higher Calling. Sometimes when, Rollo, sometimes when we are on YouTube, sometimes we get distracted by the things that are being thrown at us. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's people, speaking negatively on our name, whether people are lying on us, whatever it is, sometimes we get a little distracted. in the midst of, you know, our calling, you know, the reason why we're supposed to be on here, right? So can I ask you, do you feel like you have been with the situation that has happened with you and New Breed, and how you guys are no longer even acquaintances? Y'all decided to go your separate ways. Do you feel like you have been distracted and that you've lost sight on, you know, what your purpose is, instead of, like, you know, because sometimes we focus on the beef rather than the purpose of us actually being on here?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm going to start out with saying absolutely not. Now,
Absolutely.
those that are new to me, they don't understand how I operate, they're just looking for the first time, they may
Mhm.
not get this. But if they spend just a few minutes, they watch a couple of videos, they'll understand how I operate.
Right.
One of the reasons for me being on YouTube, this may not be the reason, say, for you, Selena, although you do play a role into that. But we'll
Okay.
say for the audience, this may not be the reason for them watching YouTube, or perhaps if they're a content creator, this may not be their reason. Never lose sight of that reason. In business, it's called a mission statement. For me being here is to expose situations that deal with people, organizations, what
Mhm.
have you, as it relates to current events, and give a perspective in terms of the Bible as it relates to those particular nouns. So, with
Right.
me and what took place with this situation, it's actually a good thing because it allows me to, one, do just that. And two, I'm the type of person that when people throw opposition my way, and this is one of the reasons why Christ called me, this is why the Most High has a
Mhm.
calling on me. Matthew 22:14 says, many are called, but
But
few are
few
chosen.
chosen.
So this
Right.
is why he chose me to do this. He knows how he created me to be, to stay focused. So I'm the type of person, if you think you're distracting me, or say the
Mhm.
trolling, all that does is just energize me and make me go harder in the paint. And I have said this many, many times. If anything, if someone wants to distract me, and I'm not saying that this is going to work, but I'm saying they would stand a better chance of distracting me by not trolling me, by not trying to go around my back as if I'm unaware of what's going on. When you have the discernment, and this goes for any person, this is not just a me thing. I want the audience to understand this goes for you. The same things that God has done for me, He does it for
Mhm.
you, and He will do it for you. So He will
Right.
give you discernment for his will and purpose for your life, even if it's just in that moment, to work that job, to come on social media, to meet that one person. You thinking it's silly. Why do I want to go to the store here? Why do I want to hang out? Always remember,
Mhm.
if you're focused on that purpose, nothing can throw you off of that as long as you stay focused. Now, the
Okay.
problem is, and I'll bring this to a close, we'll get into our feelings, we get into our emotions, and we let those things cloud our judgment. And this is
Mhm.
why, if you find yourself getting to that place, you take a
Mhm.
step back. That's what I
Right.
did with the
Right.
beef situation. And that's what I told Brother Newbreed. I told him I'm taking a step back. That's when it was heated, when Ringo was coming at me. And I said on the phone, I was like, I don't know about that. I could make content and I got receipts, but I said, let me fall back and let me
Mhm.
do what God wants me to do. So remember, you always want to fall back if you find yourself making content or whatever it is you do, and then all of a sudden
Mhm.
it seems like people or situations are derailing you. Peace, be
Uh-huh.
still, fall back, and you'll get your focus.
Right. Well, hello to everyone that came in. Hey, Cece, have a great trip. Um, that is a very good way of. That's a very good perspective. I really like that. Hello to everyone. I can't speak to everyone, but hello to everyone. That's a good way to find balance and to find peace, because you will find out on here, you will have so many things coming at you at once. And sometimes you think in your emotions rather than what logic, if that makes sense. Because logic tells you, is this weight the situation? Is it worth it or is it not worth it? Is it worth responding, or is it worth being quiet? That's what logic tells you. Emotion says, I'm going to tear your
Exactly.
I'm going to cut your out. And, I'm just being 100 with you. Our flesh gets in it. So have you ever felt like your flesh was about to come out, even though you were keeping it cool? Have you ever felt like you wanted to jump out of your skin?
Oh yes. I mean, to say otherwise, you're not human.
Exactly.
That you're just lying. I have moments like that where people will try to trigger me, but then
Mhm.
I immediately recognize what that is. And this is something that we all say, if it's a weakness, then we
Mhm.
can grow and work on it and learn. Just like
Mhm.
anything. Say if you're weak in an area and you say you're not wealthy and you want to become wealthy, well, then
Mhm.
you find godly counsel, like the Bible talks about, with people that are wealthy. If you want to be physically fit, then you need to find godly counsel, people that are physically fit.
Mhm.
So in these situations here, with not popping off and responding the way that we would perhaps maybe want to in that moment,
Right.
you have to seek godly counsel. It obviously we can go straight to God ourselves, but it
Mhm.
does help to have people, because the scripture does say it's not good for mankind to be alone. So
Mhm.
it as you start to get used to these things, it gets easier and easier. You get
Mhm.
tougher and tougher. You find yourself performing. It's like a sports team.
Mhm.
Sports is one of the best things. Sports, military, things like that that have like a camaraderie. You're all as one. Um, anything that's related to that. It teaches you these types of things in terms of the flesh and how to
Mhm.
operate. So once you start doing it, it gets easier and easier. And it's like they say, new levels, new devils. So you'll get people that'll try to tempt you even more. They try to get more creative, but to me, it's nothing new. I've played every video game. I understand moves. I used to play chess. It's
Uh-huh.
one thing you'll find a lot of professionals, they play golf and they play chess. And so one
Uh-huh.
thing about both of those games, they're a very slow moving game. Sure, you might be able
Right.
to hit the ball and you might get close to a hole in one, so to speak. But generally speaking, it's a slow moving game, just like chess. It's a very chilled out game. And it's a game
Mhm.
where instead of reacting, oh, someone moved here and put this piece here, you sit back and think, if I move this, then I affect my bishop. This will take out a couple
Mhm.
of my pawns, and then my knight might be getting messed up. Then I also got my king and queen here. I was almost set up for a checkmate, so now I got to fall back sometimes instead of moving forward in order to set up the play, et cetera, et cetera. Sports does the same thing. Military does the same thing. And so I ironically have all of those trainings into play. So I'm
Mhm.
built for this. And it's something that if you're on social media, I highly suggest to anyone looking to get on social media, if you believe that God is calling you to do it, go forth with it. Just understand that the devil is going to use that same territory to bring you back, bring you down, or bring badness your way. But whatever the enemy means for
Mhm.
the bad, according to scripture, God will use it to the good. So you need to seek out people such as
Mhm.
Selena, such as myself, and any other
Look,
content
I need
creator.
somebody. So
I got you,
don't speak
Selena.
out me.
Okay, so scratch that. Y'all come
See,
seek me out.
yeah, I need somebody too on here to keep me like, okay, Selena, don't do it, don't do it. So,
Yes.
but yeah, hello to everyone. Oh, and brother, Brainwaves, if you could please put your cash app in the chat. So if anybody would love to have donate to this young man, this really he's really a great content creator. Please do show this brother some love monetarily if you can. If you can't, we're just glad that you're here, and please press the like button. That's all I ask. So yeah, and if the mods could also um, put it in the chat as well, I might can pin it. But yeah, so I need you for accountability sometimes. Somebody like you, because sometimes you can get a little distracted if you allow yourself to. And you notice I said allow. Sometimes we allow ourselves to get into stuff because we just do. And we might just want to say you know how you have been wanting to say something and you keep it, and then you just like, you know what, I'm just gonna say how I feel. And I've been in that kind of position myself. And so I know even the Proverbs talk about if you a man cannot rule their spirit. I forgot what's I don't want to. All I can do is paraphrase it because I don't know. I can't say it exactly, but basically, when a man cannot control his own spirit, but and that's self control, um, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. You going down foolsville, I call it. So a lot of the times um, we allow our emotions to just really take over. And hello to everybody that comes through. Um, like I said, if you would love to show Brainwave some monetary love, I'm gonna pin it at the top. This is his Cash App. I would really appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure he will as well. So we talked a little bit about how you kind of keep yourself centered with all of what's going on. Is the things with New Breed and Ringo, are they getting any better? Or are they still there's still some going back and forth? What's going on in that situation?
I will say between those two,
Mm-hmm.
it actually is better. And the reason being is I see a focus on how Ringo is responding to the situation. So
Mm-hmm.
he's responding with receipts. He's not being emotional with his responses, and he's
Mm-hmm.
being very clear and direct. And it's something that you could say some people may have accused him initially when he first got going. But as Selena mentioned to you all, and I will say this as an example, I always say when people complain about, oh, he should have thrown the ball, should have tackled this
Mm-hmm.
way, should have been on the court, dunked this, blocked that, et cetera, et cetera. You try spending a day in the situations of other people and
Right.
see how you respond. It's easy to sit on the sidelines, sit in
It
the
sure
stands,
is.
sit in the pews, not be a content creator on here, having to walk a tightrope where someone like me in the righteous space, someone like Ringo, someone like New Breed, all the people above in this space
Mm-hmm.
are being looked at with a hypercritical eye. And if you breathe the wrong way, people are like, see,
Right.
so
Right.
you don't know how it's going to affect you as an individual until you experience these things.
I'm
And
telling you.
there has to be some element of grace, which I do understand with all content creators when it comes to perhaps how they respond. And so what I generally do is I allow like a room of grace. Like, okay, they have this much room where as long as they stay within this range, then it's pretty much the normal type of behavior response. Now, when they get
Mhm.
out of it, that's a different story. And so
Exactly.
one could say Ringo's response in the beginning perhaps was out of it. But what I would
Mhm.
also like to add, you don't know what that hurt and that betrayal felt like. And to have your
Right.
name and your reputation hit so hard and destroyed like that. So
Mhm.
when something like that comes out of the blue from a place you least expect, from like a
Mhm.
Judas, that's what happened to Christ. We got to
Right.
experience a Christ moment having a Judas situation. You don't know how you're going to respond. So when in the
Mhm.
beginning, Ringo was, you could say, off focus, but now he's back focused. And a lot of that was because I did what I did, and he respected the scriptures. He respected my neutral mediation perspective, and he saw that. And then Elder Chiratazar, he also spoke on that as well. So he
Mhm.
responded accordingly. And so, same
Mhm.
thing with me, same thing with a lot of the brethren. And that's the only thing we're hoping that New Breed does. However, as you all will see, and I really do not care to even be talking about this, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that's what I do on my channel. I hold people accountable, situations, someone has to do it. I talk about the tough subjects. So if those are things you don't like to hear, I'm not the content creator for you. One
Right.
thing, we're hoping that New Breed follows that path. But even as of today, what you all are going to find out most likely Monday or so, whenever I put out some more content, that he's still not doing things properly. He's still doing some things that are blatantly wrong. And I think people that see these things understand, but people that follow him don't, because of a lot of spiritual things that are going on that people don't understand. Let me bring this to a close because I know you need to move on to a couple other things, Selena. What
Mhm.
people don't understand is that witchcraft is real. For you
Mhm.
out here in the audience that don't think that spell work and witchcraft and all this stuff is real, the Most High wouldn't have talked about it in the Bible, first of all, if it wasn't real. He wouldn't tell us to avoid these things and not to go down this road and et cetera, et cetera. These things are real. People that do these things are real. And some of the main people that do these things are in the churches. You have pastors, there's people that have been on social media that have
Mhm.
had testimonies where church by day or while the church service is
Right.
open, and then when the doors are closed, they're doing satanic rituals in the church. They're
Mhm.
taking women and children. They're doing all types of sex acts, the things you see in the movies and read
Wow.
about in the books. They literally
Wow.
are doing that, and there's many people that are survivors of that. So when it comes to these content creators, when we speak on this, this is not a game. This is a serious thing, and it will affect the viewers just as
Mhm.
much as the people doing it. And that's why we talk about it.
You know, it's funny that you said that. Hello to everyone. It's funny that you said that because I know it's real. The reason why my grandmother was affected by a woman that used witchcraft on her to get my grandfather. And it was the most craziest thing. People say, oh, it's a psychological thing. It could be, but I think it's also very spiritual as well. And it manifests in the natural, right? So some things, it always, the spiritual world, it's done in the spiritual world and it comes in our natural world, in our reality. And people are not aware of that because they are blinded by the delusion. If you ever, like read Revelations, how it says how even the elite will be fooled. People will be blinded by a delusion of what they think is right, and the right will be wrong, and the wrong will be right. And that's what I kind of see in the end times. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just saying, as you know, the Bible is basically, it's being unfolded in front of our eyes, and people still think, oh, it's not real.
Yes.
So witchcraft is a very real thing. You will have people that actually do witchcraft, and it's very prominent now in our Black community, especially with the Black women. There is a lot of Black women that do witchcraft, but they also go to church. You will have people that will sing in the choir that do root work. And for those who know what root work is, it's witchcraft, and that's just what it is.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, anytime that we use things that is beyond us, that's not of God, then that's witchcraft. If we, and people think that their crystals are going to save them, your crystals are not going to save you. Your white sage is not going to save you at the end of the day. And yeah, it's pretty real. Like I said, it happens, and it also happens in the church, just as well as outside of the church. It
Yes.
happens with people that proclaim to be of God, and so we have to be very discerning on what is actually going on. If say for instance, if you are going to be a believer in Christ, right, a believer in the Messiah, you know, I'm not talking about those that don't believe. I'm talking about those that actually believe in that, right? You have to be so discerning that you are not fooled because the wheat and tare is the same. It looks the same, but it's totally different. And that's why, the wheat and tares, it looks so much alike. You really tell the difference unless you actually pay attention. And that's how some people are in the church. They come together, but there's some people are just totally different from the other. And a lot of us that are smart and that have, paid attention, and sometimes we get fooled as well. So what do you say about, some people that actually, they follow someone and they really believe that a person is this type of person, but what is some of the signs that would make the person kind of be like, okay, this is not adding up. It sounds good, but it's really not adding up. What are some of the signs that you can pick up?
I'm going to start out with the first most obvious one, repetition. All
Okay.
right. You will find that some people, for instance, when it comes to content, they complain, why are you talking about the same things? Well, you need to pay attention to what is the end result of that. Now, when I talk about reputation, this goes from pastors inside of a church, a ministry, to content creators, people out on the street, anywhere you go. When they speak things that are in a repetition type of nature, for instance, and what you find is that it leaves you with a state of fear. And let me give y'all an example. For those of you that didn't see my first interview with Selena, I talked a lot about my background. I did tarot, I did astrology, pendulums, mediumship, you name it. If anyone knows how this stuff works, it's me. I certified people. They had cards, all of this stuff backing them saying they are trained, they know how to do this. I understand Reiki, I understand all of that. If anyone knows how this works, it's me. Okay. I'm not someone who's never been in that lifestyle. And I've publicly renounced that, repented, etc., denounced it, all the above. I have a video. I even called other astrologers and tarot readers and all that to repentance. The point that I'm making is that one thing as a tarot reader, for example, good tarot readers are not supposed to leave the querent, meaning the person coming to you asking questions. What about this? What about that? They're not supposed to be left in a state of fear, in a state of worry. Yet, most of the people that's on social media right now and out here that read tarot, they leave you in a state of fear. So they'll look into you, you're about to die, and this is about to happen, and your love life is messed up, all to get you to come back. It's like an addiction. So I'm saying this from a tarot reading perspective so that you all can take a look at this as what content creators do or pastors do. So now let's replace tarot readers with pastors and content creators. One of the things that they do is they're going to leave repetition, all their content. If you don't believe me, go to anyone's pages, platforms, look at their sermons or what have you at the churches and watch. It's going to be a repetition where you see that at the end, you're left with confusion, you're left with fear, you're left with, you start like looking around, paranoia. And this is one of the reasons why so many people in the community have mental issues. Now, I don't want to say, because I'm not a doctor, I can't clinically diagnose anyone. I'm not even about to go there. Some people literally do have, mental issues. We know about mental health. I have doctors in my family. My sister is a doctor. So, I mean, I'm surrounded by a lot of doctors. I know about all these things. The thing that I would like to say, though, is that a lot of things you mentioned, this, Selena, are spiritual. They're of spiritual origin. And so it may manifest physically, and then we may give it a condition, but a lot of things are spiritual. So what happens is listening to certain content creators, pastors, whoever, that keep you in a repetition of being paranoid. What are the terms? They use terms like game stalking, was it monitoring spirits? Everyone is just out to get you. They start making you annoyed to the point where when you walk out and about, when you get online, if you offline, whatever it is you do, every relationship you get in, your family, your friends, loved ones, you get on social media, you're automatically programmed. And this is witchcraft. You're programmed into thinking someone's gonna get me, someone's gonna set up. And what's happening is what you meditate on, that's what manifests. That's why the Bible tells us to do not worry. It does not add a hair on your head. Now, I know I'm bald right now, but I've had cornrows and froze and all of that.
Right.
It does not add any a worth or hair or anything of
Mhm.
abundance to our lives. So what happens is that thinking causes you to worry. And so
Mhm.
you're manifesting because that's what your thoughts are doing. It's not even your conscious thoughts, it's your subconscious thoughts. Next thing you know, the same thing you're thinking, they're trying to destroy me. You end up manifesting
Mhm.
a situation where something happens where someone destroys you. Or like the women, for instance, like in the Caucasian community. The
Right.
saying goes, they're afraid of us being black, yada, yada, yada. So they think, oh, let me clutch my purse closer. They're going to try to rob me. What ends up happening is that fear, if that woman continues to hold on to that, she's going to manifest the situation. And then it comes to pass, and she's like, see, I'm not crazy because I just knew I've been thinking somebody gonna take my purse and take my purse. Then it happens, and it just reinforces the fear, which is a stronghold that the Bible talks about. So when I
Mhm.
speak out, when other people speak out on this is the dangers of it. It's witchcraft because life and death are in the power of the tongue. And that's why you will never
Mhm.
find me talking about a situation that's going on without providing some positive
Mhm.
results, something that
Mhm.
people can have faith on and not be focused on the negative aspects. But what you'll see is that people that are of, we'll just say, not good intentions, they won't provide a reason why, they won't provide an outlet, and they'll just leave you, oh man, without giving you something to edification to say, hey, I'm good, because God never
Mhm.
intended us to live that way.
He never, yeah, he doesn't want us to live in fear. And fear is behind a lot of things that we do, whether we realize it or not. Fear keeps us not trying new things. Fear will not, will hold us back from, getting out of our comfort zone. If I would have allowed fear, I would have never met you because I would not be on here if I would have allowed fear to stop me. And fear also has us to react certain ways too to certain situations and people as well. So I noticed that as well. And it's good to recognize that. You talked a little bit about the gang stalking and, monitoring spirits. When people do that, like repetitive, it becomes, you saying, witchcraft in some ways, because it's basically getting into our spirit and making us more paranoid and fearful. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And I know people may have seen the Freddy Krueger movies, for example.
Oh, yeah. I used to love Freddy Krueger.
Um, you know how Freddy, and he's not the only one, but what happened was Freddy Krueger gained strength off of fear.
Yes,
And
he
this is a
did.
tactic in Satan's kingdom. This is what he
Mhm.
does. He gains power off of people's fear. So if
Mhm.
someone can make you be afraid, they gain power over you. And this
Mhm.
is what happens. These are life lessons. For instance, in sports, if one team is afraid of the other team, and that other team sniffs that out, and even senses just a pinch of it, they're gonna just obliterate and demolish the other
Right.
team because it's like, aha, you're afraid. And it is something that has run rampant. It's something that happens in churches where that's how they retain their members. Their members will think, hey, if I leave this church, I'm going to be
Mhm.
without a home. Where am I going to go? I'm going to be lost without God, or I'm going to be put in a situation where I'm in sin and I'm doing wrong. And so what
Mhm.
happens is a lot of people get stuck in situations. They get stuck in mindsets. They get stuck right where they are. And that's a
Mhm.
form of control to keep numbers. Many leaders in the world throughout civilizations and the historic lifetimes that we know about, they've used fear to keep control, to gain power. They've gotten rid of people. They said things, they put certain laws, certain things in pass. You can see a lot of that take place now. And you'll see that's another sign. It's control. So you'll have repetition, and then you'll
Mhm.
have control. Anyone leader or content creator or person is trying to control you, that's fear based. For instance, in a relationship, and I know a lot of you ladies understand this, the fellas do too.
Mhm.
When, let's say, like with I'll start with the ladies. Let's say she's dating a guy, or she has a
Mhm.
man, a husband, don't matter, boyfriend, whoever, right? And that guy is using a lot of controlling nature. that comes from a place of fear because he doesn't want her to leave. He doesn't
Right.
want her to
Having it.
realize what's going on or see him for who he really is. So they'll
Mhm.
create this fear scenario to keep the lady from moving. Ladies do the same thing with guys,
Yep.
and people do it in relationships, business. They're doing it here on social media. Even in this situation right now, they're creating fear. And I know how dangerous that is. I've been there. I've done that. I told people in the past, I used to pimp full time. I quit 2 full-time, good paying jobs just to pimp. And when people hear the term pimping ain't
What?
easy, it's not a joke. Like, I'm not laughing. I know people laugh. Ha, ha, ha. No, it's not funny. You can ask my mom. You can ask anyone that knows. Like, been there, done that. So
Wait a
when you,
minute.
yep,
Brainwaves. Okay.
yep. Let me tell you
Hold,
like this, Selena. I'm gonna tell
hold
it
up.
like this. If you put me in the room amongst actual true OG players, like
Uh-huh.
true OG play, like they're pimps. They recognize me. Now I don't move that way. I don't deal with women that way. The only way I deal with women now is edification with women. I'm making sure they
Right.
follow the Bible. I have a song at brainwavestruth.com as well as on Apple Music. It's called Look at Me Now. And it was like a remake to the whole Chris Brown, Busta Rhymes, Look at Me Now. When you hear my verse, it talks about how I used to be pimping women. But look at what now. Now I just
Dang.
give women the Bible. I keep them in the truth. I keep them in the straight and narrow because I know what that lifestyle is like. And I'm not sitting up here acting all holy, like I never lived
Right.
a life. So let me say this because I know you got some questions to ask on that note. When I tell you all, ladies and gentlemen, certain things, I'm telling you from experience. This is not
Uh-huh.
just me talking. I've lived life. I have testimonies out the wazoo that many people
Right.
will never experience or maybe never experience, as well as some may have. I've literally
Mhm.
experienced it. And if I didn't, I know people that have experienced it. So when I'm telling y'all stuff, I'm trying to help you avoid certain pitfalls that I see down the road. If you all listen to certain people, you go down certain paths, you don't do or do certain things.
Mhm. Well, that is pretty interesting. I mean, I gotta say, you did tarot card, you was a medium, and you now you was a pimp. I'm like, you a rapper, you
I've been
a
in
jack of all
gangs. I've
trades.
been gang. You name it, and I pretty much been out there doing it. And this is why I tell people
Wow,
they don't know who they messing with. Y'all better be glad that I'm on the righteous side. Y'all better be glad that the Most High has put a
honey,
calling on my life, and I had followed the calling that He put on my life. Be
I'm glad
obedient.
too because you could be a very bad charlatan. I mean, what I mean by that is you could probably fool people enough to drink Kool-Aid, poisonous Kool-Aid, like Jim Jones.
Easy, easy. If I wanted to, and I don't care who hears this or who wants to chop it up, because like I
Yes,
said, I mean, easy. If I wanted to deceive people, I could do it just like that. And
yes,
that is why when I
absolutely.
speak out on it, and that's why when I see it happen in the community, I'm so adamant about it. People like, why you keep making videos? Why you keep talking about this person and that person? I'm holding them accountable, like First Corinthians 6:2 says. It says, the saints shall judge the world, even in the smallest of matters. So many
Yes.
people may think that, well, this is a small matter. Isn't that what the scripture says? And it says to expose evil. There's many scriptures. I'm always talking about Ephesians 5:11-14. And it says, rip the cover off of these things and expose them in the light of Christ. So when I talk about these things, I know from experience. I know what it does to the people that are doing it. I know the damage that happens in their lives, as well as the people around them. And those of you that are viewers, you sit back watching thinking everything is innocent. You don't see the witchcraft and the spells. You don't see the satanic spirits. You didn't have to
Mhm.
do exorcisms on people like I did. You don't have to deal with people that are in witch covens and big satanic organizations, people drinking blood and doing all the stuff like the Pizza Gate and all that stuff y'all heard about with
Mhm.
celebrity parties. You've never witnessed that. You've never dealt with people that do all that satanic crap. I have all day, every day. So
Wait a
when
minute. Oh gosh, keep going. I
so
got some questions to ask you about that. You done
oh I
got me
know.
started.
I'm very passionate about this. This is why God called me. You'll see examples in the Bible where there were people that persecuted what we call believers.
Right.
Most people call them Christians, but they were believers. There might be Israelites, what have you. They first persecuted those people, and then God called them to now stand up and vindicate God's people. So I'm one of those people that are here to vindicate God's people, to protect God's people. That's why you see on my background when I have Wakanda Forever,
Yeah.
it's very symbolic of a lot of things spiritually. And so I've seen these things. I know people that have seen these things. I know people that are no longer alive because of these things. I know people that have lost their life trying to expose these things, as well as people that were caught up in it and they lost their lives because they were caught up in it. So this is a very real serious thing for me. This is a very real passionate thing. And because God allowed me to have all these experiences, this is why I'm qualified to talk about these things and to do these things, because I don't want to see anyone go through any of that. I know it's something that takes a long time to recover. Y'all think alcoholism is
Mhm.
bad and drug abuse is bad? Mm-mm. It's got nothing on the spiritual stuff. Like I say spiritual thugging for a reason. People think that following the Bible is about being weak and all of that. No, you got to be a spiritual thug. And I'm not talking about on a criminal side. You got to be tough. You got to be ready for war. You got to be diligent, use your tools, put on that whole armor of God, breastplate of
Mhm.
righteousness, helmet of salvation, the sword of the spirit. You got to be ready at all times. The shield to quench the fiery darts of the wicked one, because people doing witchcraft. Like right now, I'm aware of people, witches, talking about me right now as we're having this interview. God shows me a lot of stuff. They be trying to talk of who he think he is. He do what you do. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. But I'm aware of those things, and many people have these visions shown to them. They have conversations with God, and they think that they're crazy because no one talks real with them. Your pastor in your church doesn't talk like this because they're bought and controlled. You got people on social media, very rarely do they talk like that. And then when we talk like that, we're we're quote unquote treated as the bad person on social media, when you got most of the people on social media in the righteous space, they are a part of the satanic community. So of course they're going to
Wow.
discredit us because their job and the job of Satan is to get numbers. And we're in the beginning of the labor pains like the Bible talks about. So of course
Mhm.
they're going to try to say, don't listen to him. Don't. And that's another sign. Any person that tells someone to just flat out not listen and see for themselves, and I'm not talking about something like just straight up crazy, like, oh, they're over there, the
Mhm.
building's blowing up. Why you want to go over
Right.
there and burn? I'm not talking about that, but no one should tell a person and take their free will away from them saying,
Mhm.
don't go to this person, don't do this, don't listen to that. You can advise, you can give, consult and things like that, but no one should tell you whether you should or should not do something, because maybe that
Mhm.
person needs to go over there. God would have them to go over there to have an experience, to see something, to understand, so that they can be equipped to do whatever it is and reach whoever and what have you. And by you saying don't go there, don't do this, you're blocking what the Most High would have for people. So that's another sign when they say don't listen. As churches do it, a lot of people don't listen, don't go there. They're trying to control you, and that's dangerous.
Yes. My pastor always say you need to read the Bible for yourself and know the Bible for yourself. You can't wait for somebody to spoon feed you everything. You have to go and read and try to and ask the Holy Spirit for understanding of what you're reading. And then after you do that, then we have to learn to apply it. And that's the hard
Yes.
part, right?
Yes.
That's the hard part, forgiving. So, with the situations that you've been in, with Brother New Breed, and even some other people, I know you and Rollo, did y'all have a falling out at one point?
Somewhat. So the situation between me and Rollo, essentially, I only knew of Rollo through what I've heard about with Ringo and New Breed. I'm trying to think, maybe one other person or something like that, but mainly it was New Breed and Ringo. and their interactions with him. And so when that situation went down in North Carolina, where he came into town, he had just visited them. They just hung out, and then it was like he came back the next weekend because Ringo and New Breed, they were meeting up in North Carolina that next weekend. So I remember Rollo was on his channel like, hey, should I go? You know, I just came back. Should I go? Of course, his supporters supported him, helped him out, made sure they go. They sent him cash apps or what have you. So he was documenting his journey. He was at the airport. You know, he showed when he basically got to the hotel, if I'm not mistaken, and everything that took place along that time. Well, the way that everything went down, it looked like, based upon what we saw, that it was all Rollo's fault. That Rollo set up Ringo, Rollo set up New Breed. You know, he set the whole situation to go down. There was another person named Millennium Jess, Tate, or what have you. They showed up, some younger guys, and the situation got real sketchy where they showed up at the hotel that Ringo and his wife was staying at. I believe New Breed, I think they all were staying at the same hotel. And they showed up like at like 12 something at night. And it's like, hey, who knew this? And the guy was talking all crazy, asking New Breed if I'm like, I want to see if you got the Holy Spirit. Just if anyone shows up with a hoodie on, it's not supposed to be there in the, like that late at night, and you know you got your family there, so you're like, wait, what? So it looked like it was
There was some wackos.
It looked like it was Rollo's fault. So I made a video called Rollo Snake in the Grass. And based upon what we had, that's what it was appeared. But however, now that time has transpired and we've seen the fallouts and the repetitive, again, here we go, repetition. That's how you'll know them by their fruits. A tree bears the same type of fruits. You know, if it's going to keep bearing the same type of fruits over and over again. That's how you know what type of tree it is. For instance, if a tree bear different fruits, and you be, what kind of tree is that? It's bearing oranges, now it's apples, and it's like, I don't know what kind of tree this is. It bears the same type of fruit. So with that repetition, we begin to see that it wasn't Rollo's fault, that it appeared that it was Rollo's fault. So when we actually got on social media, and this is the thing, and Ringo commented on this the other day, we did everything publicly. I know people always say, well, go to your brother in private. That's what Matthew says. If you got a problem with your brother, go to them in private. Some things, because we're on a social media platform, aren't private. You lose a part of that anonymous aspect of your lives when you become a celebrity, you become a politician, you know, a famous athlete, a content creator. I'm not saying you don't have any elements of being private, but your life becomes public. Did Christ lose the ability to be completely private? Yes, he did, when he chose to take up the Father's will. Did the 12 disciples lose a bit of that? Absolutely. Did the people in the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament lose a bit of that? Yes, they're considered what we would call today celebrities. I'm not saying that we idolize them or anything, but they lost a bit of that private aspect. So what people have to understand watching is that we're not like you in that capacity unless we're watching someone else, unless we're the audience of another content creator or what have you. So when we have situations, sometimes we work it out publicly. And so with Rollo and me, had him on my platform. I said, what better way than have him on my platform? We're talking publicly. Let's go ahead and talk what's what. And we just chopped it up like men. We realized what was going on. It was no harm. We came in brotherly love and we're cool. The same thing happened with Ringo. And that's what we were hoping with New Breed as well. But he, to this day, he's, I'm just going to say it like this. It's apparent that he's playing this avoidance game where he's stated in one of his recent videos that he's not talking to us because a troll came into his chat and he thought maybe it was one of us, which it wasn't. But he said a troll came in and he was like, hey, I'm not watching any content creator. Yet every time a smaller channel talks about us, because again, none of the big channels will, he's in the chat and we have receipts. And it's very suspect that, like, who are these people? When you hear these people speak, you hear repetition again. So you hear these people curse. They're speaking very negatively. You hear a lot of hate in their heart. You could tell the difference between someone being passionate. Like some people speak passionate. Some people are real chill, laid back. these people speak with a lot of anger and
Mhm.
vengeance. And it's just creating the narrative. You see the same old beat, same old flows.
And
And
some
and
of them
so
don't even know what's going on. They just got in the mix.
and they got,
Mhm.
well, not so much that they got into the mix on their own merit. A lot of them got on the mix or in the mix because they were asked to. And this is the
Mhm.
same thing that happens with a lot of organizations. Anytime you go against the grain, that's what
Mhm.
happened with Christ. They'll ask people to speak against you, to do things, to paint you as the bad person. Why? Because you're shining that light of Christ, like the Bible says, we're the light of the world. And if that
Mhm.
light shines upon them, then people will say, well, maybe I don't look so clean. Maybe I don't look so good. And instead of people just taking accountability before that light is shined upon them, people choose for whatever reason to not do that. And that's where the danger is, because that's what Satan, that's why he got casted out. When the Father confronted him in heaven, he's like, hey, I'm doing the music worship. I'm the music angel. I set all this up. Again, there's that pride that came in. At that moment, he had an opportunity to repent when the Father came into his presence. He's
Mhm.
like, hey, what's going on? And Satan was saying, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They should be worshiping me. Instead of at that moment, like, what, my bad. Hey, yeah, I'm wrong. Let me get back focused. And that's where
Mhm.
he fell like a lightning bolt, like the scripture. So people have to get back focused on the mission. But let me tell you something, and I'm gonna stop talking here. A lot of people, their true intentions never was to be truthful, never was to be righteous. And I'm going to say it like this. If you were to ask me, or anyone to ask me, what's the number one thing I could do to deceive the most people and get the most gain out of them, what profession would I choose to do if it were down to a profession? I would be a pastor. That's what I would do. Forget a criminality, forget gangs, forget any other profession. I would be a pastor. I could deceive the people. I could get all types of women to sleep with me. I can take money. I can build this. I can scam. I can lie to people. I can damn souls to hell as long as I get whatever gain. And people will think that I'm right. They'll think I'm righteous and holy. And I will have those same people to attack the opposition. That's how
Well,
it works,
it is,
unfortunately.
we are, compared to sheep, and that's why we need a good shepherd, and not was that a harlan, someone that is just out to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yes.
And that means stealing other people's wives, uh, sleeping with all the women in the church, stealing the money, and using it for your own gain. So those are the things that we have to look for when if we are following Christ and we're in the church, or even if we're not in the church but we're trying to follow Christ, we have to definitely be very cautious and hope that we have a good shepherd.
Test the
That's what I would
spirit.
say on that. Yeah, test the
That's the
spirit
spirit.
by the spirit. Listen, I'm thinking about at the end of this. I don't know. I'm gonna ask for your permission as well as Rollo, because I still didn't know what actually happened the night that the situation with New Breed and Ringo, and they thought that Rollo set them up. I never understood that situation. I was kind of in and out. So if it's okay with you and okay with him, if he's still here at the end of the live, if he would kind of come up and explain what happened on his end, if that
No,
would be
no, I don't
okay
want nobody to come up here. It's my
at the
y'all.
end.
For those of you
But
that don't know me, I'm just playing, y'all. Of course, I
yeah,
would.
yeah, he's cool. He's just
Yes.
playing. But I just wanted to know that if it would be okay, and if he would like to come up, he's more than welcome at the very end of the interview. I'll let him know. Okay. And I'll let you know, Rollo, and I'll put the link in the chat when it's time. I want to talk a little bit about how you say about holding people accountable, and you're trying to hold brother Newbreed accountable. When does it come a point when you just let it go? Because some people may not feel like they need to be held accountable. They may feel like they are, correct about how they're feeling or what they've done. When is it a point where you're just like, okay, I'm done talking. If you want to go this way, I'm gonna dust my feet and go to the other, go to the other location. So it's even, Jesus did that, even in his own country, people didn't accept him for who he was. So he just dusted his feet and went on about his way. So when is it enough enough?
I'll say two things. One, whenever the Father says it's enough. And
Okay.
I can speak for myself. I add, I'll even speak for the brethren that are holding New Breed accountable as well, because I've had conversations with them, and I'm sure that they would say something very similar. None of us have been guided by the Father to stop speaking about this. As a matter of fact, with me personally, it's something that sometimes I don't want to say I wrestle with. I mean, I know the scripture says we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but principalities. It's something, I guess, in that sense, you can say I wrestle with, because I know how the public looks at it. They thinking, something carnal, thinking I got an issue, or I'm in my flesh, I'm upset, I'm hurt. I just
Mhm.
don't know how to forgive. I don't know how to let things go. I'm not following scripture. And so sometimes when you start thinking about, hey, if you do something in that judgment, it can be discouraging. But again, think about all the people in the Bible that had to stand up and continuously. Moses had to go back to Pharaoh how many times to get to tell, like, hey, let my people go, let us go. Think about, there's other examples in the Bible repeatedly. So one, if the Most High is not telling me to stop, and I pray and I ask the Most High when it comes to talking about other people in situations like this, or other churches and ministries, should I
Mhm.
do it? And I'm being told yes. So one, I'm not going to stop until he tells me no. Two, the scripture says that you're supposed to do that anyway.
Mhm.
And this is
Mhm.
something that you don't see happen in these churches and these ministries. And this is why we have one big, hot, holy, religious, if you want to say it, mess in all of our spiritual community, if you want to say that, because no one's actually truly, or very few people rather, are actually following the scripture to a T. We're supposed to talk, hey, like Selena, prime example, everyone. If I let Selena, I know she's doing something, and I don't say anything to her, then that means that I have no love for her as my sister. That means that I'm gonna
Mhm.
let her hang herself, let her destroy herself, her name and reputation. Wouldn't it be better, even if it's tough love, even if she gets upset with me in a moment, to say something that can save her reputation, save her salvation, save everything, experience that you all may
Right.
have with her, instead of me saying back, don't say nothing, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. And see, that comes from a
Mhm.
place that never originated from the Bible. It is not of God. That comes from the devil. The devil works in darkness. He keeps
Mhm.
everything secret. That's their
Yeah.
motto. So this whole worldly motto about not saying anything, that's where that comes from, and that's what we got to replace. And three, there's three things. Three, until the people are good, until I know that people are not going to have their souls damned to hell and be destroyed, and the witchcraft worked on them, and then they start believing the narrative, and then their lives are being ruined, and they're getting feared, and everything's breaking out to their family members, and et cetera, et cetera. Until I know that the people are good, I'm not going to stop unless the Most High tells me to. Those are my
Mhm.
motivations. And then also, I'm going to add for New Breed or whoever else this applies to, for his sake, for
Mhm.
his soul, for his salvation. I don't want anything to happen to the man. I know what he's dealing with. I know what he's going through. And we're going to stay on him because that's the only source of accountability. They don't like that because that light is shining. You know how you don't like it when you wake up, somebody shine a bright light on you, or when the police pull you over.
Mhm.
I know I'm in law
Mhm.
enforcement. So when the police pull you over and it's dark at night and they shining that light right up in your face, right up in your face, people
Right.
don't like that, right? Well, it's similar to that, but it gets your attention and it's supposed to make us move accordingly. So
Mhm.
those are the reasons why I do it. And until any of that changes, I told people if I see him take accountability,
Uh-huh.
my work on that aspect is done. You won't see me make any video about him, at least in that aspect. If anything, I'm going to be telling people that this is a beautiful moment that he got to this point to take accountability. And I will defend him on that note. If he takes accountability, if we know he's delivered from certain things, I will defend him against other content creators and people. I will make content to telling people, y'all need to support where he is right now and in his growth and his walk. That's the righteous thing to do. But see, people are under delusion to think that, oh, you just want to destroy him, you hate him, you want to take his followers. I do not wish none of that on that man. I just wish the best for that man. I wish what the Bible says for that man, and he needs to be held accountable because I am held accountable as well.
Well, that's good to hear, Brainwaves, because a lot of us, we sometimes speak in anger because we just can't stand the person. But you actually seem to me to be, you still care for him.
Yes.
And I would ask you a little bit about forgiveness, since that seems to be a sore spot for me. When it comes to forgiveness, from what you're saying to me, it sounds like you want the best for him. So I'm going to ask you, have you worked through forgiveness, or is this what forgiveness looks like?
This is an example of forgiveness, because if I did not forgive him, this is an example I give people. The way that I'm responding and behaving could be totally different.
Yes.
Even right now during this interview, I could be saying some very negative things about him. I could be calling him names. I could be, like I said, telling people to unsubscribe, don't follow him. No, it's none of that. What this is that because I forgave him, of course, when I found out, I'm like, wait, what? Then I found out again in the second video and what have you. I'm like, wait, what, and all this stuff. I forgive him. It's the same thing that Christ did right before he was nailed to the cross. He said, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Up to that moment, while he's being nailed on the cross, I got nailed to the cross by New Breed. I did nothing to him. Still to this day, like I said, there's no receipts. It's just his words. There's no receipts he can produce, and at best, the only thing he can maybe try to twist and produce, which I've already showed the receipts on that, is the whole ticket purchase situation. He tried to say I stole. That was his last thing that I stole. I tried to steal. How did I try to steal a ticket? Like, what did I steal? I got inventory logs. I've got pictures of everything, and I was the one making sure everyone got what they paid for. So I understand how it works, but that's designed to discredit, like kids. You get in trouble for putting your hand in a cookie jar. I said this before. Instead, let's say it's me and you, right, Selena? So I'm the one that got caught putting my hands in a cookie jar, right? Let's just say we're siblings or whatever. And, I don't know, mom, dad, they caught me. So I was like, oh, man. And I'm like, well, Selena, she was over there eating the cookies too. Okay, let's say even if that's true. But the point of the matter is right now, I'm the one that's caught and they're talking to me. So I got to take accountability about putting my hand in the cookie jar, regardless of whether you did it, Selena, or not. It's kind of like, so a lot of people behave like children. Instead of taking accountability, they point the blame. Instead of Satan taking the accountability for what he's done, he puts the blame on Christ. That's why he wants to flip everything upside down. Read the Lord's Prayer backward, put the cross instead of like this, put it down, reverse everything. And so you'll hear that with people. A lot of things are reversed. They'll say, you this, you that. No, it is the opposite. What they speak out of their mouth is often what they are and what they do. So on that, because defilement comes outward. Whatever you let in your heart, that's what comes out. So when you hear people speak, people need to pay attention. If people curse people out, if people do stuff, you don't hear any remorse, you don't hear any sorrow, any apologies, and not trying to make it right. They don't follow up with, man, I was tripping, the other day or what have you, other week, but hey, let me go. If you don't hear any of that, they just avoid and run, then they're avoiding taking accountability, and they're teaching their followers, especially of us leaders, they're teaching people to not take accountability. So then they go into the live chat, say stuff. They go on their jobs. They go out here in their relationships, think they can say and do things, think it's right. Why? Because they're looking at their pastor. They're looking at this one and that one. Where they doing it, he doing it, everybody jumping off the bridge. And so then it becomes like an infection, because that's how satanic spell work and magic and all that stuff works. It spreads like a virus. So people like me are very adamant and on fire for the Most High to stop it. I'm one of his warriors. I'm one of his saints. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, people can call me what they want. You did this, you did. That's right. Just like people in the past in the Bible did this and did that. I don't do any of that now. You won't find any receipts. I'm talking about these were many years. I'm older than I look to a lot of people. So this was many years ago. But I have no problem admitting that so that people that are struggling with that know that they can be delivered. They know they can talk to someone that was delivered. Talk to me probably. I'm a life coach. So that's what I do. And so it's all for the edification of people. It's not about me. I'm not on this interview, like you said, Selena. You wouldn't be here if you had fear. But you had enough faith in God to be here. Same thing. So I have enough faith in God to talk about these things so that it'll benefit someone sitting in the clouds, sitting back. It could be no telling who's watching this right now or who will watch it later. That's why I do what I do. Not for me. I do it for the people.
And that's really good that you said that. I want to go back to you being a life coach. Unlike some people on here that pretend to be life coaches, you're actually a real life coach. Tell me how you came upon, I would say, becoming a life coach. What were the steps that you became a life coach?
Well, I've always been one since a child. As a child, I had adults and elders. I had other kids always coming to me, asking me for my guidance, asking me for my opinion, asking me for my advice. And I had just gotten used to that growing up. As a little kid, what difference do you know? You're a child. And so I grew up that way, and it just came a part of my life into adulthood. Now, in terms of me formally taking on what we call titles, the title of life coach, that came about because when I was back, I started my YouTube channel in March of 2018. If you go back and look, that's what it'll say. And so I started out in astrology, and I was giving a lot of people advice in love. And then when I was on one of the big psychic hotlines, it was literally like one of the big two. I was on one of them, again, giving people advice. A lot of times it wouldn't even be tools. A lot of times people would just call in just to talk to me. So it would be no looking into the future, no, they didn't even care about that. They just wanted to speak to me. I would be giving advice on the workplace, people, other couples, every situation, business, people would come to me, should I purchase this? Should we get rid of that? What about the acquisition of this? Yada, yada, yada. People would ask me advice and guidance. So I had been doing it all along, but I just didn't realize, you know what? This is actually a path that I need to add to my repertoire. This is something I need to publicly let people know. Hey, you can come to me, because a lot of people, just like I learned in terms of tarot readers, astrologers, a lot of people I've seen get hurt, get burned because they would go to a reader. And that reader, like I said earlier, would leave them in a worse dire emotional state or spiritual state. A lot of times they cast spells on people through their readings and their cards and the spirits that they have come through, so that the person's life will get more worse. Like, for instance, they'll be like, I'm reading the cards, and what the cards say, Selena, is that your love life is about to end. Whoever you dating right now, it's over. And you finna, right now, your money's good, but in the next 6 months, you're going to have a money situation. So guess what happens? You hear that negativity. Then you start thinking about it. Then you leave a doorway open, because through communication, a door is open. Like, this spiritual thing is real. When you subscribe to somebody, that's a spiritual connection. When you follow someone, that's a spiritual connection. So if you're connected to someone, you better have that armor up, or you better know what's up. You better have that discernment, because that's how the devil gets in. When you hear about the internet, the devil's running through the internet, that is a spiritual connection. It's an energetic connection. So in the reading, when you listening to somebody telling you these things, you like, oh, it's true, because they'll tell you some things that are accurate, some things are right. So you be like, okay, well, that was right, so this got to be right. Then you're in a state of fear. Oh no, in 6 months, I'm about to have some money problems, and my love life is about to, and you start meditating on that. You start believing it. That's similar to what I said about content creators and pastors who don't give you hope, who don't give you edification. They just leave you in an, oh, woe is me state. I never did that, because I was also what I learned from the experts. I was taught that you can't leave someone in that space. You can't leave them in that state. Do not talk to them. Do not put out content. Do not do sermons or lead them in that direction if you're going to leave people in that state. Everything you should do should leave people encouraged. They should have hope and faith. He made it. She made it. He did this. She did that, et cetera, et cetera. That's why God left examples in the Bible of people who went through all types of situations and they made it because they were righteous. So we have to really be very, very careful what we let in. And so I realize all of that. I want to set an example as a life coach. People have been burnt with people outside of the spiritual community where they just want to keep you coming in to keep the checks rolling, to keep the money coming in. I've had people that I've talked one time, never talked to again, not because of anything bad, but just because what they needed to hear or whatever received was received. And that's all God had for that interaction. Maybe some people I still have long-term, et cetera, et cetera. It's all a season. And so we have to leave people in a better state. A lot of people just want to tell you something to keep you coming back, just like doctors.
Right.
Let me give you this. This going to cause a side effect. Then you're going to have to come back to me for this and this and that because they got to work with the big pharmaceutical companies. I know I have doctors in my family. Somebody can't tell me otherwise. I know how this works. So I don't operate like that. I don't care.
It's all about money.
Come back. It's all about, and that's what people do on social media. It's all about their agendas. You'll notice that people will have agendas where they want you to either invest, embark, and support. And I'm not saying it's wrong for people to have things, but you have to really look at what a person has and what they're doing.
Right.
I tell people I have land, for instance, with land ventures. I got land in Africa. I've got land here. I've got a lot of resources, but I'm not telling people that subscribe to me or listen to me, hey, come on my land. Hey, come do this, because I know what the scripture says. And I don't know what the Father said for those people or a particular person. He might say, you stay right here. Your blessings, your protection, like Ezekiel says, or like blessing the city in the field, is right here. And if I tell them, hey, you only safe if you come over here, then I'm getting them out of the will of the Father. I'm not doing that. Other people can do that. I'm not doing that. So unless he tells me, hey, get some people to come here, or get this person, that person, I'm not talking about it. But unfortunately, people have agendas. It's all about what they can gain from it. And until that stops, I'm going to keep talking. And guess what? I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
No, it's not. So with you being a life coach, you're saying that you're real with people. Like, you'll tell the truth, like if there's something that they need to change and how they need to change it or whatever. But you also, at the end of every message, you also give people hope.
Yes.
So, okay.
And I let them know I'm with them throughout the journey. One of the things I tell people, so for those of you watching in the audience, if you, like your first time, if you were to book an appointment with me, I tell people that I'm sitting on the side of the table with you as if I'm your friend, your family member. I don't want to say like I'm your lover, but I'm just like, as an example, like, you know, people come to appointments with their partner, their spouse, or what have you. That's the side of the table that I'm sitting there with you. So if you leave worse, or you don't have a path of achieving something better or getting somewhere, then I failed my job. I'm not on the job. I'm not just saying like you, I'm on this side of the table, whatever. No, I'm on the same side of the table you're on. And you can ask people about that. I'm serious. I know a lot of people do stuff just for money. And I understand we need money and resources. It's a tool, but I'm not doing it for the love of money. I'm doing it for the love of the people. Because that's how the Father loves us. So why shouldn't we love people the same way?
So even though that's a part of your calling, and you're helping people, are you certified? Do you have to be certified to be a life coach, or are you certified?
I'm not certified in terms of any credentials like that. I've done enough certifications with stuff. I mean, I've even been from insurance. I've been a licensed insurance agent. I've been in so many things that had to have credentials that I think they speak for themselves. People know that. I've spoken to celebrities, you know, famous people, radio personalities. I've had all types of people reach out to me, pastors. Wouldn't you all believe that some of the pastors of some churches that some of y'all may go to or have gone to, was speaking to an astrologer, speaking to a tarot reader, or what have you, even in that time,
Wow.
because they knew that even though I had those titles, really it was just a way for me to generate revenue. And I never got into it to misguide people. Now I understand what people say about the deception. I get all of that, but that never was my purpose. I know a lot of people though that got into it to misguide people because of the
Mhm.
corruption of the power. It's like, ooh, I could do this. I could put spells on people. I got these spirit guys. Like they were corrupted. I never did it for that reason. As a matter of fact, I was attacked by those people. And a lot of times, what we don't realize, and I mentioned this before, is because they can see the call on your life. So
Mhm.
those people knew that I wasn't going to be in that space for long. So they didn't like me. They attacked me. Sounds kind of similar, unfortunately, what happened with my new breed experience, for example. I was attacked. I never was liked from the beginning because a lot of
Mhm.
times those people can see stuff from the beginning
Mhm.
and they won't like you. So it's okay because it is what it is. You just have to take that as a learning experience and move accordingly and see who's really your tribe, who you really can let in your circle, who's around you. And how do you know
Mhm.
that? A brother, I'm going to say it's the scripture says a brother. It's like Proverbs 17:17. It says, a friend loves you all the time, but a brother's born through adversity. I'm going to say for the ladies, it would be a sister is born through adversity. So you have to see, have y'all gone through anything? Has the person you're talking to gone through anything? Are they sharing anything with you? How do
Mhm.
they handle that when they open up and share intimate details with their life? Are they gossiping? Are they going to use that as an advantage? Again, you'll know them by the fruits of their bear. See how they respond to that. If they respond accordingly, then you're like, okay, I might actually be able to trust that person, especially if there are multiple situations when you interact with a person and you see,
Mhm.
okay, they not spreading my business. They not trying to blackmail me. I don't get no bad vibes. Wow, they really left me with some wisdom, or they really actually helped me. Man, they didn't have to drive that far or spend that type of time. I didn't even ask them to do anything. Examples like that, you can start to see like, okay, I think I might actually be able to rock with this person. That's how you know.
Hmm.
The problem is we'll jump to conclusions with people and we haven't had that
Right.
test of adversity, even in love relationships. That's what happens in love relationships. Everybody like, oh, she fine, he fine, he got six figures, all that. So everything is fine. They get married and then they go through adversity, or maybe while they're planning the wedding or what have you, or right after the wedding because of the stress of the family, or then all of a sudden the adversity sets in. And then they're really feeling it. They're like, whoa, are we together or are we being shaken apart? That's where you'll know if someone is really moving righteously or not righteously, if they have your best interest in heart. Lose a child. One of the things I had an experience with, for example, back in 2015, we lost our firstborn. I'm good.
Mm.
To be able to have to bury your own child is
That's
a tough,
horrible.
especially as a baby, where you didn't get to
Mm.
have conversations with your child. You didn't get to say
Yeah.
how they're gonna grow, what's this, what are they into. It's hard enough when they get to that point, but at
Right.
least you had some precious moments of dialogue. But to do it as a baby is very tough, and I've been there. And so those type of moments break up a lot of couples. The
Mhm.
statistics say they break up couples. Speaking of community, that's one of the communities I'm involved in. You've got celebrities that are part of these communities, all types of athletes, all types of professional people, and average people in between. They've lost children. They have children as well. Some of them have rainbow babies and all that, but I'm in that community. We do
Yeah.
walks, we do stuff annually, we bring awareness, but people say I'm not out in the community. I'm in a lot of communities. I just don't brag about it. And so I'm saying that
Mhm.
because there's a lot of situations and life experiences that I've had that I don't talk about on social media, but
Right.
I've been there. And so I have those experiences as well as biblical wisdom to share with
Mhm.
people. So I know what people are going through. I know what it's like to lose jobs and not have money and not have this and be in this situation and loved ones and dealing with demons and witchcraft. I mean, you pretty much name it, I've dealt with it personally.
Mhm.
So people are like,
Mhm.
okay, I can rock with him. A lot of people haven't been there, so they don't know how to respond in kind. Um,
Mhm.
I have to do this. That is the few are chosen Many are called. Many people are called for whatever it is, but only a few are chosen by the Most High. You don't choose yourself, God chooses you. So he
Mm,
orders our steps. It's not, let me tell people this. I never wanted to go down this path in the beginning. I mean, I'm all in now, but I'm saying in the beginning, this was not a path I wanted to go. And you'll find a lot of people that have a call in their life will tell you that. A lot of pastors will tell you that. A lot of people in this righteous walk, they'll tell you, I wrestled with that. I wanted to do sports. I want to do this. I was a good athlete. I was a good singer, actor, what have you. And they had a call on their life. And maybe their call was to be an actor or something, or a singer. You know, I'm
right.
just making an example, but they wrestled against that. They didn't want to be that. But because they were obedient and they answered the call, they are that. They are what God made them to be, not with their mom, or not with the world, or not with the devil deceives us. Because the devil say, hey, you know you're good at this. You know you could be that.
Right.
You know you got talents like that. You look at how you look. You know you could be on Instagram right now posting a bunch of pictures. You could be out here like this and like this, gaming all these men. You can get all these attention. You could get this. Surely you can eat of the fruit. Surely you won't die and you'll be as wise as God. So go out and do it. And that's the temptation that a lot of people fall for. And then also other people come around them, and the devil works through other people to tempt them. Hey, Selena, guess what? You know these pictures, right? You know you could be posting these pictures. You could be gaming these guys. And guess what, Brainwaves? You got these skills. You've been back there. Why don't you do a little spell here? Why don't you do this? You know how to pimp women.
Right.
You
Right.
you you got that background. You was in gang. You did all that stuff, right? You know yeah, man, yeah, you know it. All right. So look, we're gonna help you out so you can go out there and do it. And unfortunately, through the temptation of the flesh, a lot of people fall because they don't have godly counsel like the Bible talks about around them. So I'm trying to position myself in the community that if they have nowhere to turn to, and I get a lot of people reach out to me all the time privately, and I'll share some words with them. I mean, I only have so much time in the day, but I share words with them and give them as best that I believe the Holy Spirit is leading me, guidance on how to move in situations and stay encouraged. So it's not an easy thing, especially when you get persecuted for it, but it's a beautiful thing because you get to see what Christ lived. You get to understand a slice. Man, he was persecuted for being blameless, faultless, sinless. There's nothing wrong he did. And yet they put a crown of thorns on his head and ridiculed and laughed at him and beat him and tortured him and like seeing movies like The Passion of the Christ, you know, and all that. It hits home. You think about it. Like I remember people left the movie theater silent. They saw that movie, everybody just walking out, either sobbing or just silent, like nobody was talking. Everybody was like, so this is a real thing. And I just want y'all to understand that people, we see y'all and we understand what's going on. I know it's deep, right, Selena? It's deep.
I mean, you said a handful. I just a mouthful. I mean, it's it's it it's just a lot. It's just a lot, but it is very insightful on how you basically how you have experienced life and and with your multiple talents and gifts. I would say you have a lot. You're a jack of all trades, that's for sure. But I do in all of it see your love for people, your compassion for people. So that is exactly what we're supposed to have. I think let's just be 100. Yes, we need money. That just goes without saying. But if you don't have a heart for people doing that type of, you know, having that type of position or that type of, I wouldn't even call it a job. I would say a calling. You have to love people. And some people that call themselves life coaches, whether they're certified or not certified, they don't have a love for people. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to hear that you definitely have a love for people. I had a certified life coach that came on my platform. And she was telling me about her love, not only for people, but her love was for God. And you can't say, you you're going to be a good life coach if you don't have that type of love. You know what I'm saying? So I really see
Yes.
that with you. And even though before that you were into the tarot card reading, you were into the mediums and psychics, and you were going not down the path, the righteous path. Even I feel like God used you to kind of go into what you are doing now, because he knew you had the ability to have an ear for him, because you have to hear what he has to say in order to minister to other people on their
Yes.
specific needs, right? So
Absolutely.
I believe that a lot of the times where we are going the wrong way, God can still use it for good and use it for what he would have us to use it for. That's kind of what I see with your situation, you know.
Absolutely. And I will say, if I didn't go down that path, I wouldn't have the understanding, the faith, and the experience that I have now to confront those things. Because there
Mhm.
was a point in time, we're taught this in church to just avoid, avoid, avoid. And so it would create a space of fear. But the
Mm.
spiritual things that I've been pulled into a spiritual realm, battles with like witches and stuff like this. Like it's weird. It's like you're right here, but then you spiritually are pulled with what may happen, let's say in real life. I don't know, it could just be a matter of a few seconds or something like that. But in the spiritual realm, time is irrelevant. And I felt that I've
Mm.
had near death experiences before. Like there's a lot of things I've been through that I don't even think about mentioning. So I know what it feels like when time is the most liberating feeling to not have time pulled on you. So I'm able now to confront things and not be afraid of things. I would be scared if I found out someone, let's say in the past, and this is how a lot of people move. If they were doing witchcraft, if I found out or it looked like that, I would just completely avoid the situation. I'm like, I'm not gonna stand up and expose this person to talk about that because they're gonna put a spell on me. And this is how a lot of people move. They move in fear. So I want to
Mm.
talk about these things, how no, you do not have to be afraid. You are protected according to what God says. You can hold him to his holy word, because in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word is
Was
God.
God. Mhm.
So because the word is God, you are protected by him and what his word says. And you don't have to
Mhm.
have fear from anybody doing spell work and doing all that to work on you. They just want
Mhm.
you to be in fear so that it can work. That's how
Right.
they get it to work on Christians. That's how they get it to work on believers, because in the church, they don't really talk about these things. I'm not
Mhm.
saying, there aren't any churches, but just the typical churches that, most people
No, they
go
don't talk
to,
about
they don't. Content
that.
creators don't really talk about it. And
Mm-mm.
and they don't give examples of it. So how can we be expected to learn if you don't talk about it and you don't give people examples? That's how we learn anything.
Well, I definitely would like to have you back talking about that, the witchcraft, and the other thing that I wanted to talk about, things that people seem to overlook with the rituals, the Bohemian Grove, and how people are into vampirism now. So that you have human beings walking around, but they only come out at night, just like, the stories of a vampire, as well as they drink blood, like real blood from
Real.
another human being. And I thought that because they go to like different blood banks and things of that nature, or they have a blood donor that they get blood from, you know. And so this stuff is really real. And I think that most people think that this is some type of weird little fairy tale, not fairy tale, but just a little story that we have heard, growing up as kids and watching these movies. But this is some real things. Then we also, I want to talk a little bit about shapeshifters. Like
Yes.
that is actually real too, that people seem to overlook because they're like, this is so far out. This can't be real. Again, if you have been in the church environment, we are not taught these things. We don't know these type of things. We just know about angels and demons. There's like a whole world out there that we haven't even uncovered, in the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? So I would love for us to talk about that when we have more time. I wanted to put the link in the chat for Rollo to come up, and we can finish that conversation. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm really would love for you to come back and talk a little bit about that for those who are interested. Some people think, oh, that's not real. Vampires, um, uh, what you call, not wolfmen,
Shapeshifters.
shapeshifters, and the wolves, and the wolves that change, and the humans that change into wolves and things like that. I mean,
Keep living. Let me tell
it's
you. Let me
some
tell.
weird stuff.
Look, I'm gonna tell people this. Come to the South. Come to America. I mean, you can go into other countries too. Come
Come
to
to
the
the
South with an F. Souf. South. Not South.
south.
South. Come to the South, and you're gonna find out how real it is. Come out into the country where all of these pastors and content creators tell you that's where you need to be to avoid the sin and the Gentiles. Come out to the country and watch the satanic rituals that take place. Watch the covens. Notice how all the sightings of you watch any movie, any TV show, history, you read books, all of the crazy stuff take place in the woods. Children of the Corn,
Uh-huh.
Pet Cemetery, Stranger Things. I mean, you name it. It's always out in the country.
Right.
So this stuff is real. It's real.
Rollo,
Got
is that
Rollo.
you?
Yes, it's me. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank
All
you
right.
for coming.
What's going on, Brainwaves? How you doing,
What's
Selena?
Good
What's
to
up,
have you up
Rollo?
here, Rollo.
All right.
Oh, I don't know why I put it on that. Let me go back to, okay, that's good. So, Rollo, can you tell us a little bit on what happened? This was a few months ago, correct?
It will be about when we in August.
Mhm.
We got to go to April. How long would that be?
Because it's basically September now. We're on the
Yeah,
last day of
September now.
August,
Last
July,
August.
June, May. Oh wow, 5 months. Wow.
April. Well, let's go May, June, July, August. About 4 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4 to 5
4 months
months.
and change. Yeah.
Okay. So, what actually happened where you were looking like a Judas? I kind of heard your name. I didn't know your name at the time, but I kind of
Right.
heard your name pop up, and they were saying that you were Judas. And I'm like, what's going on? So I didn't really get too invested in it because I didn't know I didn't know what was going on, and it wasn't important to me. But I wanted to know because I am nosy, and we were
Right.
talking. Me and Brainwaves was talking about it. Can you tell us exactly what happened where you were starting to look like the Judas to some people?
Okay. So before we get to that, I was there a few days prior.
Hmm.
The past week, I met up with some people there, and I met up with the so-called white boy Menino Jets for the first time.
Okay.
I knew of him from New Breed's channel.
Mhm.
So it's like when I was there, we went bowling. So what happened was New Breed texted me that same day and said, you Wichita wanted to meet me. Normally, I don't meet people just like that off the strength. Normally,
Okay.
I don't do that. So I kind of find that odd because he was watching the video. He was not in the chat. He was watching it.
Hmm.
So what happened was when I met you, Wichita, his family, we went to David Buster's, and he told me that about the situation with Menino Jess in DC. He didn't go into specific what happened. He just said that he don't talk to him. So I'm the type of person, when you tell me something, I don't go by what you say, I go by what I see.
Mm.
So it's not like I was talking to Millennial just like that behind the scenes. It just so happens that I was in North Carolina and I told him I was coming. Prior to that, I didn't talk to Millennial just for like maybe 2 months because I'm doing what I got to do, keep myself busy. Like he stated when he came on my platform, I never talked to him like that. So I was like, yeah, listen, man, I'm going to be in North Carolina for the first time in a long time. You want to link up? He was telling me, yeah, but I got a shorty I got to meet. I said, okay, better yet, I'll let you and the shorty, I'll get y'all a room. Didn't think anything of it. So when Wichita told me that, he didn't go into the whole thing until the following week. So when I go the following week, I told the guys I could go anywhere at that Pacific time because I had a lot of stuff going on. Business-wise, I had a government contract. So I told them I'm going to take time off. I wanted to go see the brothers. So I typed the super chat in the chat, all three of them. I supported all three of them at the time. Of course, they're in the zone talking they talk. So I let them know behind the scenes I'm coming. So Wichita told me what they were staying at. Now, the white boy I already met. The other dude in question, Samuel, wanted to meet me. Seen the text messages. I said, look, if y'all gonna come at 12:30. I'm okay. I'm coming in late. I got the last flight because there was only one flight left. So I get there. They halfway there. Then they decided to change their mind. I say, look, I'm gonna be up with the guys. I'm not gonna see y'all. So that's the last time I spoke to him prior to on my platform. Fast forward, so I take the Uber Lyft to meet up with them. As you heard Ringo saying in his live, the guys is waiting downstairs. Now, if you look at that video, New Breed was already on to something. Looking back at the video on Ringo's platform, somebody said in the chat, why is Ringo and Rollo taking so long to get up? Well, I'm on the heavy side, so let's just keep it real. New Breed is in shape, so it's going to take me a long time to get up. I got to be careful how I move. I'm 275. So I know I'm on the court. I do my thing. At that time, I'm already late night. I'm up trying to get things. They getting ready early in the AM. So I'm a little bit sluggish. It is what it is. So now when we go to the dealership, I noticed something wasn't right. When at first I didn't think of it. Looking back now, when we get there, the guy shook my hand first. He shook Ringo's hand. He said hello to Ringo's wife. He did not shake New Breed's hand. He did not even look at New Breed, as if he knew something was going on. Not meaning he knows New Breed. He just, you know how people, this is a salesman. They always say hello to everybody, greet everybody business-wise. He didn't say nothing to New Breed. So when I do the live stream, everybody's having a good time. New Breed wasn't as engaged. He was into texting. He was texting. Who he was texting? The white boy. He planned the whole thing. Because remember in the video, I broke it down. He played the whole thing before I got there, out of the car. He played the whole script of what the setup was going to be. He said, you're going to see something you've never seen later on. So when we get the car, New Breed is leaving us, going to the mall. Not picking up the phone. How Ringo talked about he didn't pick up the phone when he got his belongings. Not answering. So wherever he went, whoever he had a conversation with, we will not know to this day. So I'm calling him. Ringo's calling him. He's not answering. I'm calling him. So somehow he knew where we was at because I gave him the location, the coordinates. So he comes. He's being kind of nonchalant about the situation. It's like he didn't want to be bothered with us. So my thing is with that is that if he knew he had something going on, because prior to that, I'm telling the guys, y'all want to go bowling. It's on me. You with yourself, all of them is okay with it. New Breed has something else going on, with which we're going to get down to in a minute. So now we at the mall. Ringo's getting McDonald's for me. New Breed don't want McDonald's. And so when we go to the mall, we're shopping and getting some sneakers. And we get to, I found my sneakers I wanted to get. He found what he needed to get. he was just getting all this black stuff. He was just looking around like, what's going on?
Mm.
So his tonality started changing a little bit. Me being who I am, just keeping my mind observation. So the dude that does some, I guess, some healing stuff, what products he would sell, he was there. You what you saw them appear out of nowhere. I found that very odd. It was at the mall. I was like, wait. What's going on? So he probably had a conversation with you, which you saw them somewhere to have the talk, because he knew where to go. The Macy's thing, to me, it's like we got what we needed. At the same time, he met up with you, Richard Saw them. That's why he came back to us later on. Because think about it. I was like, what's going on here? These guys come up to me, they know who. I never knew these guys that. I knew you, Richard Saw and his wife and the kids. But these other dudes coming up to me saying, what's up, Rollo? I said, who the heck are you? And that's when oh, this is such and such. I'm like, okay. You're not saying. So all this stuff going on, all these skits he's doing. So fast forward, he drops me off to where they stay at, and then I get my food. Something happened with the room situation. I'm not going to get into it, you know what I'm saying, because that's behind the scenes. But it was just odd. It was this whole thing was odd. So I'm talking to the gentleman at the desk, you know, having a conversation as if he knew what was going on, type of thing. Because I'm waiting for my lift to go back to change.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go back to change, Newbury first said he's going to pick me up, and then he switched to Wichita or Elijah to pick me up. Now, in the text message, where I don't have no more, because you could, when you do Google, you know that thing you double check, like on Instagram, you can retract the message. So he retracted everything. So he was like, I'm not going to go. However, Ringo and his wife is going to take Uber or Lyft. I said, y'all in the same hotel? Why would we have to do that?
Mm-hmm.
So when they both came at the same time, I said, something is not right. That's when I got very uncomfortable. Because I'm like, you say you ain't going. Ringo and his wife is going to take Uber here. Yet and still, you came with them. What the heck is that all about? And so, y'all see they came 30 minutes towards the end of the bowl, and everybody, he didn't want to participate. It is what it is. He's talking about competitive. I get it. So when we leave it, everybody's going their way. I'm going to the bathroom. We took photos. Those photos is never up to this day. I find that very odd. All of the guys took a photo. All of the ladies took a photo. When it was time for me to take the photo, they didn't want to use my phone. That was very real flat to me, because why is it that you don't want to use my phone? Because I probably would have seen something that you saw on Ringo's photo, that death stare that we had, like that guilty death stare. So Richard saw them had to know what was going on. So when we get in the car, it was like everybody was quiet, and the whole time it was dark, getting dark. So we get there. He parked the car in a certain position. So, you know, Newbury got kids. So Ringo gets out the vehicle. He gets out the vehicle. So I open the door for Ringo's wife.
Mm-hmm.
So as we go, Newbury was the first one that spotted him. And I'm looking at what is going on. It was this whole spell thing going on. I was like disbelief. I'm like, what the hell is this kid doing here?
What?
Yeah, so he said his name first. And so then what happened was he was talking to us, and then he mumbled. The demon started mumbling because the transfer from Newbury went to the whiteboard, the mumbling, and then that's where all hell breaks loose. So now, mind you, I'm looking at everything. I said, something ain't right. Somebody is recorded in the car. The car hit the dude. The white boy's car was in the parking lot. How can you be in the parking lot if you're not staying at the hotel? So within that time frame, Ringo going in the hotel with his wife, have every right to be upset. I'm deflecting the situation, but I'm looking around because it's just my spirit wasn't right. I'm like, something ain't right. So he was like, you on your own. Prior to that, he told me you should cancel your flight. I never cancel my flight for nobody. That's some type of industry, some type of skit, some type of manipulation, NPC. And so,
okay,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, okay, so I want to ask you. So, when you guys were in the parking lot, did some men come up to you guys? That's what I was trying to understand. Because they said they at one point they felt set up by you. So
no, there was no men. It was us and that white boy. That's it.
Millennium Jess.
Okay, Millennium Jest, and they feel like you set him.
The reason why they said that is because I saw him last week. Yet he was part of the play. Because if you watch New Breed, when he had on the chick I used to deal with, Charity, he asked for my pay stubs, which is very odd. He asked for what type of work I do. How's this guy moving around? Why is he in this lavish hotel? He's staying in a better hotel than me. He's telling on himself that at the time everybody's hot, not paying attention. And then he was still following the white boy.
Okay.
That's when he did a distraction video saying, oh, somebody hacked into my Instagram. Just like he did a video about Instagram again today, because I called him out about him sending people to my Instagram. Go ahead.
Okay. So Ringo, Ringo had nothing. You saying he had nothing to do with what you think was a setup?
No, he had nothing to do with it. I did say, and I retract my statement, one of them knew about what either or did it. However, I retract Ringo because I look back and I say, nah, it's not him.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That was a lot, Rollo. I mean,
I was in the way because it was times I was trying to go to the thing last year or 2 years ago when they had the first thing. I was supposed to go and I was renting a vehicle and I'm in Florida and all 4 flat tires went out on the rental car. That was the sign right there. But you see, us sometimes we try to force a scenario without knowing, and it could be a demise. It's a good thing that I picked up on it quickly, and I knew something wasn't right. So getting back to it, so my phone is dead. I'm calling Uber because I already know what time it is. I know I'm not getting a ride back to the hotel. So I'm calling Uber. Look, that's what happened. That's what the text message was for, to see how long it was going to take for the person to come. So when they left, New Breed made a right. He was supposed to go home. He made a right to go back into the hotel. And by the time Tate left, I told one of my friends, I said, it had to be some people in the car. And Ringo confirmed it. It was 2 women. Anywhere he goes, he think about Ashton all the time, no matter where he's at. Even the people in Jamaica even confirmed it. When he was in Jamaica, he drifted away. Nobody seen him. BRAINWAVEZZ said the same thing. Drift away.
So you think it was with other women, or is that what you're saying?
Okay, let me say this. It's 2. It was Wichita, his wife, Elijah with his lady, the kids, but it was 2 so-called black women, 2 tall black women that was there. And they I believe they witches too. How? Because they did not participate in the bowling for one, and they was trying to, and they was shielding themselves because women that do practice that, they shield themselves, and they was constantly on their phone too much, more than average. Like they was ready to go to a party.
Okay. Wow.
Like they're not open. That's what he's saying, Selena.
Yeah, I
Like,
understood what you're saying.
yeah.
I understood. I mean, I've seen that before too. Yeah, I've seen that before. Well, that's pretty interesting. And like I said, I'm gonna just say it's speculation, allegedly, but I get what you're saying. We just gonna leave it at that.
I have to be the first one to go because there's a thing called muscle, mute, money. And if you know anything about politics, the mute, which would be me at that particular time, is the most aware than the money man and the muscle man. So the muscle man was Ringo, and the money man at the time was BRAINWAVEZZ.
Well, it's a lot going on. That's all I'm gonna say right there. It's a lot going on, right?
It is.
Well,
And I'll add something
he thought
to
he
it,
could
Selena.
use us for what gift we have, and he thought he came close until it all backfired. Because when the so-called white boy said he knew the area, I said, no, that's cap. Now, they say he probably knew the area because of DoorDash, and I said, there's no way he knew the area. They told him the area. And then he came the same time, 12:30, like I told him to come to bring Samuel at least by 12:30. Think about that. Think about the coordinates.
That area, Selena, I can say this because I've been in that area. I've been in several areas of North Carolina, and where everything essentially took place. It's not like, oh, okay, like everybody's coming through and you just, everyone knows where this is and this is the famous road and all of that. It's not like that in that spot. So like what Rollo's saying, someone has to tell you, either you just have to already have known, or someone has to tell you, you got to go over here, look for this landmark, et cetera, et cetera. This is where this is. It's not something you just randomly happen to be, oh, I was in the area. It has to be planned. Like you will have to go out of your way or just be completely lost to just end up there.
So basically, it's somebody that had to set it up and blamed it on somebody else setting it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And might I add, with the experience that Rollo had with his 4 flat tires with his rental, a lot of people that came to the land event. Now this is obviously separate from that incident, but it's regarding we could say the common denominator is coming around something that New Breed was a part of. A lot of people experienced a lot of car trouble. People had blowouts on the way there.
Oh my God.
I mean,
what?
People were struggling. When I was going there, I was having a lot of weird people that almost seemed like a video game, like they just materialize out of nowhere. You know how you look, you check your mirrors every 3 to 5 seconds, like they say. So I'm looking in the rear view mirror, I'm looking in the side mirror, I'm on a straightaway, nobody's in sight, maybe with the shy of 1 or 2 cars. Then all of a sudden, you're not by a ramp. It's like there's no ramps, no exits, anything. Then all of a sudden, I know with people just like running up, and you could tell they were like there to mess with me or target me, almost to the point where they were almost trying to get me to wreck or some situation like that. And so it's weird.
Goodness.
It was a lot of occurrences by a lot of people, and they can attest to that. That at the time we just thought that, oh well, it's just the devil trying to stop us from getting there. But like Rollo said, now that we're able to look back, perhaps that was actually God trying to stop us from going there.
Yeah.
And not just us. This was multiple people, random people say like you. He's like, oh, let me just come to this event. I just want to come here. And you see how what Rollo's saying, it didn't sit right in his spirit and situations went wrong. These are the types of things that we talk about. Multiple people are having these. This doesn't feel right, or I didn't have that experience. Or like how Rollo said, Newbury was disappearing. He again, that's that shielding, that's that guarding where people won't make themselves available. So, like for instance, with me, if I move like a snake, if I was some crooked person, then I wouldn't be so open. I wouldn't be telling people about myself that they could use that and to do spells and rituals and so-called try to destroy me. I wouldn't make myself as accessible as a life coach for people to just be able to, hey, let me reach you, talk to you. I would be standoffish. I would make myself hard to get access to. I wouldn't take pictures. I wouldn't talk to people. I wouldn't be out in the community. This is why you find people that have community, but it's like control community. We out here where nobody can get here, and they do this and they move that way, so you can't get to them because they're moving in secrecy. They're moving in silence. So that's the stuff that Rollo shared with you all, and what we are all sharing as well, that people need to watch out for when we deal with people.
Another thing Selena, is that BRAINWAVEZZ could attest to this. I always say in my videos, don't go by what you see a person on camera, see them in person. This dude do not know how to talk to nobody behind the scenes. On camera, it seemed like he got his stuff together. Behind the camera, when he first came to Florida, and I picked him up, I didn't ask for no money. Of course, he looked out for me. It was just as he went there because I was there. He never been to Florida until I got there in 2022. And then when I went back to New York, all of a sudden he appears in Miami. He said that's his first time in Florida. He was loving the energy because Florida has a different energy than somewhat in Georgia because it's a lot more activity. Not to say it doesn't happen in Florida. It's just that it's more higher frequency in Florida for the most part. There's a little bit more righteous people in Florida. My perspective of being throughout the whole East Coast. BS is made. Now, that said, when I picked him up, it's like he was nervous. I didn't know. It's like it took me time to get there. It's like the Most High was giving me signs like, you go to the bathroom. I had to go to a lot of stops before I picked them up. I was like, what is going on? And mind you, I didn't eat for 2 days. So it was like the Lord was giving me a sign then. I don't think you should pick up this guy. You know what I'm saying? However I did, and it's like, it's just when you meet certain people, they hide it. He hid it. And then all of a sudden, with the Hassan Campbell situation came out of nowhere, I was like, I think these people know each other for a long time because he admitted that he was trying to help Hassan Campbell 2 years ago. Then he flipped on Hassan Campbell out of nowhere. Brandon T. Jackson, same thing. The list goes on with this character.
Interesting. Okay, I think we went down enough. We went on enough stuff that my brain can handle.
One more thing. It's that ladies. He cannot get ladies on his own. He cannot get ladies on his own. Y'all meet him. I'm telling you, BRAINWAVEZZ could attest to this. He cannot get ladies on his own. He don't know how to talk to women.
Socially
awkward. Really?
Very socially awkward.
So if he's socially awkward, is it just he's just socially awkward? It doesn't mean he's into witchcraft or anything. Because some men are socially awkward.
No, it's not that. I'll tell you the difference. Okay, if a man, since we're talking about men, so if a man is socially awkward, he would just fumble the ball. You would see a lot of fumbling taking place. And some women actually find that cute, actually. They're like, oh, that's so cute. Some women want to actually go for that. That actually works for some men. We see it in TVs and movies and stuff like that. That's one thing. You're like, oh, that's cute. He just can't do. No, that's not what it is. It's this like weird, how they say like a lot of people that are into weird things, they have weird behavioral traits. That's how it is with New Breed. And it doesn't matter whether it's men, whether it's women, what have you. When it comes to the microphone, or say, like Rollo mentioned, making a video, like he said, it would seem like this man could just speak and deal with anyone. But when it comes to outside of that, it's like he's very shut down. It's not from a place of fear. And I know this was asked in the first interview. It's not the fear, oh, I'm just nervous to talk to people. First of all, how can he be nervous, but he's on social media? We all may have an element of being shy. I'm shy. Let me just break this down. My whole life I've been a shy individual, but yet I've been put out in public, from tap dancing to ballet to Broadway to music to, I mean, here being on TV, everything. That's not what it is. It's this weird vibe, like something is wrong or off here. And it's like you'll try to justify, well, maybe, how we don't want to actually go there, for instance, right? We don't want to assume it's people, as individuals. So we'll say, well, maybe it's just this, maybe he's just tired, maybe it's something like this, maybe something on his mind. We make excuses for people. No, it's none of that. It's this weird vibe. And I can tell you, and I know Rollo can, and I know you can too, when you deal with people that delve in that Satanism and that witchcraft, and they got stuff to hide and how they really move and what's really deep down, they're awkward. They don't like to come out. It's like why demons work in darkness. All that stuff works in darkness. They don't want nobody to see, no one to know. So they hide that side of their lives. They hide that personality of their lives, et cetera, et cetera. And so sometimes when they come into contact with people that have the light of Christ in them, we don't think about this, that light is shining. So then they're getting awkward because it's like, uh-oh, that light is shining. And if I say something, if I do something, it's like making them awkward. Like their behavior it's weird. It's very weird if you were to see an experience.
So you saying Brother New Breed is into some type, basically you're saying he's into witchcraft or some type of dark energies, some black magic or something. Is that what you're saying?
Dark arts. He's into dark arts. He's dark arts because them entities speak through him. Like he mumbles a lot. Sometimes he can't look at you in the face. I've seen that with him often, and he just always looking guilty. Even when you look at the basketball game, the basketball game tells you a lot too. It's like his energy's not there.
Like he's detached. Watch what I was saying. If you watch it's on his entertainment, New Breed Universal Entertainment channel. If you watch the basketball game, you will see he's playing basketball, but there's no like human interaction. Same thing. If you go to my channel and you watch the interview, Ringo touched on this stuff that I didn't even realize. I said, wow, I didn't even think about that. In the interview where we sat down at Unlimited Potential Farms, I didn't even realize he never really was looking at me. He never really was engaging me. I was engaging him. You'll see me look at him, and I was excited and into it, but he was just kind of like, it's very secretive, and that's how people that are wicked move. They're very secretive.
It shows. It showed even at the time when we was walking. When Ringo had his live stream, we was walking. I hold the mic that Ringo gave me. He was disengaged. The dude was disengaged in Ringo's videos and live streams.
So this is really blowing my mind because but listen, hey Ringo, how are you? Hey everybody that came through, Charity, Tammy, all you guys that came through. I'm sorry I can't speak to y'all individually, but hello. I just wanted to,
very quickly, if it's up there, I might say you might want to bring Ringo on if he's willing to come on, or at least
Ringo, if you would like to come up, you're more than welcome, because this is really creeping me out. Like I don't, because I'm a private person myself, so I'm not gonna let too many people in myself. That's just who I am. That doesn't mean that I'm demonic or anything. So that's what I'm trying to understand, where y'all coming from. But I do know when people do dark arts and they are around people that are not of that, they can kind of shy away and don't want to be around it. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, you said,
Yeah, he was on live. He was on live. I was in this chat. Yeah.
oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
just
Okay.
anybody that well, if he want to decide to later on, he can come up. I'll just put it in there. But okay, so this is creeping me out. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, because it's like you don't know what people be on, but again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hearing what you guys are saying. Like I said, we talked about being socially awkward, right? We talked about that. We talked about how sometimes, on the last interview, talked a little bit about how when you're around a lot of people, sometimes you're not as friendly for certain reasons, right? It don't always mean that you have dark energy or you dealing with dark arts or anything. It just means that you don't fool with everybody.
No, it's not. Yeah, Selena, that's true. The thing you gotta understand is he fell out with people that is prominent. It's not like he
Mhm.
fell out with people that was non-prominent.
Okay.
Everybody that he fell out with was prominent. They had something to offer. That's how them entities are always trying to attract those who have potential. They're not going to go after somebody that don't have potential at all. He
Mhm.
knew I had potential. He knew Ringo had potential, definitely, for a long time, and he knew BRAINWAVEZZ. They select. It's like the industry always. I talk about this a long time ago. Whether
Mhm.
you're a small platform or large platform, they always knocking on your door.
Yeah.
You're a woman or man, you can't be naive. I have not ever been naive since I was 12 years
Yeah.
old. I haven't been naive. When I go out in these streets, I'm not surprised about anything I see. There's always lights, camera, action wherever you go.
Right.
Because I've been around that most of my life, I'm not surprised about this whole scenario. What's happening is New Breed knows he has no choice but to repent because they after him. When them entities coming to collect,
Uh-huh.
what he did to me and what he did to Ringo, what he said about Ringo not having a son, disrespecting his wife and daughters, what he did to BRAINWAVEZZ, there's no coming back from that. Them same entities he's using to big up himself and using these other people to cover his tracks, they're gonna all turn on him once they don't get their cut.
That's
Wow.
spiritual warfare, Selena. When energy is never created, nor is it destroyed. We know that scientifically. So if you send out spiritual energy with the intent, and this is how wicked people move, the intent to destroy someone, and it does not destroy that person. It did not destroy. So what the goal was hoping that I'm gonna take this person out, take that person out, et cetera, et cetera. Figured that Rollo would be done in the beginning. Rollo would be
Mhm.
taken out. Ringo would be taken out. And then, of course, I would be taken out, and figure because of the beef that we would all be beefing. And Ringo talked about this in one of his
Mhm.
last video.
That's right.
Figured that we would all be beefing, our relationships would be destroyed. The whole community and the reflection where people say there's no unity amongst the brethren. All of these folks of faith forget the Bible, forget all this scripture, forget these churches, everybody wilding. But yet, the plan that the enemy did not expect was for us to allow the Most High to work within us and us to be obedient to that. Then the reconciliation took place. Now, and we even got it sorted with that. New Breed has said, "Oh, we're kumbayaing and we're having a big trauma bonding." These are literally his words on his entertainment channel that he said, and that's
Mhm.
not what it is. We came together. So now people are saying, "Wait a minute, the brothers can work things out. I guess the sisters can." They're seeing growth in the community. They're seeing a lot of partnerships because they didn't see that previously. Everyone was separate. Everyone did their own content, and now what you're seeing, even with you, Selena, people are seeing unity. You know, they see people united on your platform, united on Rollo's platform, united on mine, Ringo's, the list goes on and on. They're seeing unity. Ringo's here in the chat. You know, Rollo, they're people seeing that this is a real thing. So they're like, wait a minute, they're not playing about this. And then
Mhm.
it's encouraging them. Again, God gets the glory. So that's the thing that he didn't expect to happen. So now that energy has not been destroyed. Everything that was meant to destroy didn't happen. What happens to that energy? It goes back to the target. Whoever sent it out, it goes right back. And that's why you hear people like, oh, return to sender, return to sender. You don't have to do none of that when you follow scripture. The battle's not ours, it's the Lord's. But that energy will go back to the source of whoever sent it. So that's why when I'm up here talking about, I know how this works. I've seen people destroyed. I've seen people die from this stuff. I
That's
know
right.
people that literally got unalived from this stuff. This ain't no
From,
game. So
from
when I'm
witchcraft.
saying, yes, from sending
Yes,
out
yes.
spells,
Right.
trying to do set people up, send spirits, you know, rituals, all of
Wow.
that, and it
Mm.
backfires on them because those people are righteous. And I've seen it come. I've seen people do stuff repeatedly. People be warned, stop. You can't mess with that. They'll go pay somebody to do something, and those people are like, I'm not doing it, because they see that that person is righteous and protected. So then that person was still in a problem. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna find a
Mhm.
way. So for new breed's sake, out of love, this is why we keep holding him accountable, so that hopefully the pressure of accountability overcomes the pressure of what's going on, and that he repents. And I'm not saying we got to be all buddy and cool, but at least it'll keep him from suffering any harm, any consequences. I mean, this man got children on the way. You know, he's got a wife, or whatever you want to call it, wives or whatever. Like, this is not a game. This is serious business. I don't want to see nothing happen to them. But unfortunately, what we know, the wages of sin are death.
That's
So if
right.
he doesn't stop and repent from that, that's the consequence. And we can see it on his face. You can see it on his videos. You can see it in the thumbnails. You can see it when he talks. It's apparent. If you have that discernment, you can see he's troubled. We're not troubled. We're good, but he is. And I'll say my trouble, if anything, is seeing him be in that state. And I want him to take accountability so that he's not in that state. So, I mean, that energy is going to go somewhere. And this is a lesson to everyone watching. If y'all in that witchcraft, y'all doing that stuff, I'm telling you, stop. You might have got away with this person, but I'm telling y'all, please, it will destroy you. It's not a joke.
Hmm.
And
So
I used
you
to do that. I used to do that, Selena. I used to do palm readings
witchcraft.
back in 2002, 2004. I used to do palm readings. I used to do tarot cards. Back in the 90s, I used to set up people back in the 90s when they disrespect me. Not set them up like kill them per se, set them up like I took their girls, I took some of their money, and there was nothing they could do about it. It came back to me, of course. What you do come back to you at the same time. So you got people use that, what I used to do back in the day. So that's how, like, brainwaves know from your experience, you could pick up on the setups. Some people are not used to dealing with a certain crowd. I'm used to dealing with a lot of crowds, in-house crowds, out-house crowds. And when there's too much busybodies, too much tickling, tackling going on, and not too much engagement, you got to be on your guard. That's why I learned how setups are, because the same thing happened to Takeoff. He was off guard. He was too comfortable. Ask Ringo, he could tell you right now, I'm never comfortable. He met me in person. I'm never comfortable. I'm always on the edge. That's going, because when you get comfortable, you're sitting around, no, I was moving around like, oh, no. I was moving around. I'm looking around. I'm checking everything.
Now, Rollo, you got to be careful that you don't be paranoid everywhere you go.
No, I'm not being paranoid.
Not,
I'm on edge in a positive way, not
Oh,
in a negative way.
Okay.
If I was with my shorty, like I was with when I was in Jamaica, this is real talk. When I was with my shorty in Jamaica, and we went to this Jamaica hood, where dudes, them Jamaican moms will step to your woman, try to take your woman from you. So I'm not looking like Happy Duppy. I'm talking like I'm in Jamaica, like in Jamaica. So
Right,
we
right, right.
and they looking. I said, "What's going on with your mom? You all right? You okay?" They're like, "Yeah, mommy." I said, "Yeah, good." Talking to them patois. We kept it moving. They ain't say nothing.
Uh-huh.
That same day, something happened with a guy and his woman because of the fact he was too comfortable and giddy. There's a time and a place for it. When you out in the streets, you got to be on point. Like,
Right, right.
what the hell you doing as a man? Especially when you got women and kids, or you by yourself. Brainless is a cop. That's a known fact.
I gotta stay
Yeah.
on point. Everywhere I go, I'm always, whether I'm with friends, family, solo, I'm always vigilant. When I was at the land event, that's why I didn't get any sleep. While everybody else is asleep, even if I'm asleep, I'm still listening. I'm paying attention. Like I'm because I'm like at any moment, somebody can run up on us, something can
Right.
happen. And if we all sleep, we done. So I'm sleeping with one eye open just for a couple of hours anyway, even if I go to bed, because you gotta, it's not see, there's not paranoia. There's times when you know you can quote unquote let your guard down. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's times when you're safer than others. So those are times you can do it. But like as Rollo said, when you're out and about, when especially when it comes to content creators, and you haven't gained a brother or sister through adversity, like the scripture says, and
Right.
when you go through something with somebody, that's how you know they down. You know, people say get locked up, lose your money, lose stuff or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and see if those people are gonna be around you. See if they're gonna be there for you.
Right.
You'll know. So when you know those people have been vetted. You already know what time it is with them. So you know how to move with those people. But people that haven't been vetted, you haven't had those situations with people, that's who you got to watch. And some of the main ones are
Exactly.
them folks that they're spitting them scriptures. They be the
Mm-hmm.
main ones. I used to be, when I was working in the mega church, I was around nothing but pastors, nothing but leaders, nothing but gospel artists, and all these famous big gospel artists and stuff, and
Uh-huh.
singers, and all the rappers and the people in all these. I was around them all. They'll tell you,
Uh-huh.
ask them. They know who I am. Ask them. It's like, go ask these famous artists if they know who I am. They'll tell you. I was around those people and I seen how they move. I know who moved right and who didn't. And I seen a lot of wicked work with those people. And they used the covering of the Bible, covering of the gospel, covering of scripture to justify it. So that's something with me. I let my guard down when it came to interacting, especially with New Breed in that situation, because I figured, oh man, this is an awesome man, the Most High. I hear what he's saying, what he's doing is great. You know, I'm getting behind it. If anything, that's where it was an error on my part with letting my guard down. And I got red flags, but I chose
Mm-hmm.
not to listen to it. And that's what happens. Sometimes we go hard in our churches. We go hard for people. We get red flags and we don't listen to them. And then we don't consult people, our godly counsel. Sometimes we need to run stuff by our godly counsel. That might even be the witnesses that the Bible talks about in Matthew. And they might be like, okay, well, hey, you're going to do what you're going to do, but this is what I believe in this situation. So you might think it's just you in this, but when multiple people are saying this, and there's been multiple fallouts with multiple prominent people, people that are
Mm-hmm.
respectful, they have a reputation in the community, they're established. It's not like, I'm not trying to say like we all that or anything, but it's just that we have a reputation. When that happens, you got to stop and think, okay, is there actually an issue with those people? Or is it actually an issue with the person that the fallouts are taking place with?
Yeah. That's
It's
something.
deep.
One thing I want to say to you ladies,
Uh-huh.
listen to this and listen to this very well. When you have a man that is doing the right thing and he may not be always around, because I noticed this, they always go to a person who don't have your best interest. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that entity knew what happened with me and Charity because he saw us live together. Watch what I'm about to tell you. He never was in the chat. Everybody else was in. See what I'm saying? Why was he quiet? But all of a sudden, when she called him, it's like he knew what to say. But she was smart enough not to say everything. And she's in the chat. I got no issues with her. I moved on with her.
No,
But
Charity.
I
Charity
warned her.
in the chat. Yeah.
I warned her. Do not talk to him. I warned her. And when you warn somebody, it's not because you're trying to control them. This is the problem with most women. It's because you know what's going to lead to. And so when it transpired, I lost everything. But I didn't lose my soul. So let me tell you something, New Breed. You're not the only one that tried to get me to lose my soul. I have family members in the Senate try to get me to lose my soul. People back in the days, you just happened to thought you was going to get me to lose my soul? Hell no. I'm not losing my soul for no woman, not for no kids, not for nobody. We are the currency. F their currency. F the demons' currency.
Now, this is a lot. This is a lot. So Charity was going to talk to New Breed. What I want to know.
Explain it.
Go ahead, Brainwave.
What ended up happening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, you have to pay attention to how a person moves.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you bring someone on, when I bring someone on my live streams, I do a mic check. You've done it here. I say, hi, you're live. I'm just like, hey, the call is being recorded for whatever purposes. They have to let someone know what's going on. They just don't want to like randomly do something you're unaware of. So what ended up happening was Charity was on a call that she thought was a private phone call between her and New Breed.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being a public live stream call that Charity was unaware of, and it went on for about 30 minutes, give or take. It might be 30 to 32, somewhere around 30 minutes time before New Breed said anything about, okay, well, Charity, you're on a live stream. He just allowed her to continue to talk that was supposed to be a private conversation. So it created a lot of turmoil to this day. She's still dealing with issues. It's not even whatever took place between her and Rollo. It's more so the damage of what she thought was a private conversation that she would have taken to the grave. That was her intentions. It was a private conversation. He put that out publicly and didn't interrupt her at one point in time to say, I want to let you know we're on a live stream. You know, so that way a person would be prepared. She thought it would, you know how to say, like, say if I call you, right, Selena, it's just like as if I were to call you and you'd be like, hey, what's up, Brainwaves? I don't tell you we're on air. And then all of a sudden, I'm live streaming. You don't think we're on air, and then I'm asking you certain questions about things, and it's being put out. And then I tell you after I get all the info. That's what Rollo was trying to warn Charity about. Dealing, interacting with him. So this is what I'm saying. Now Charity is dealing with stuff. I've had to actually be her life coach, and because she'll attest to that in the chat. I had to pray with her, help her get through the damage of that.
Brainwave. Look, I will find a way to ruin you. If you, I know you wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying I would find a way to ruin you. I'm telling you, oh my goodness, that is crazy. I'm sorry, Charity, that you experienced that. I mean, that's crazy as hell. No, I mean, and forgive me for saying it, but you know, I don't have a dog in a fight, but I know if somebody did me like that, man, oh my God, I don't even know. I don't even want to say what I want to say.
I got no issues with her. She's trying to make it seem like it's an issue. It's because people know about it. Let me say this. I have people that was trying to do big business with me in the comedian industry. I was supposed to be doing skits with certain people. When they saw that, of course, they're going to feel some type of way. I got no issues with her, but let me say this to her. Let me say this to you, Charity. I already forgive you. For you don't know what you're doing. The Most High sometimes protect you. I was supposed to be back in Florida already. After that incident, matter of fact, I was supposed to help Ringo drive back up to New York. That didn't occur, of course. It is what it is. my point is, it's like sometimes, like Joseph, he went through certain things. With that situation with the married woman. I'm not comparing, it's not the comparison. The point I'm saying is, I went against my jurisdictions of not supposed to be dealing with people in certain states. It's my fault. Sometimes as a man, when you say something, stick to it. So I got no issues with her. I went against my jurisdiction. I put her around me, show her certain things. Certain things didn't go accordingly. It is what it is. It's on me. At the same time, we're exposing this demon new breed who doesn't want to see nobody happy.
Okay. Well, this is okay. Let's just stop it right there.
Leave it at that.
Yeah, just leave it at that. I want everybody to feel comfortable for the most and respected as much as possible. But we definitely gonna have to come back and talk about the other subject that you were talking about, the witchcraft and how it's done in the church, because a lot of people don't believe that good old church people practice witchcraft. It happens. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And Rollo, if you would like to come up, you're more than welcome, because like I said, you dealt with that world as well. Yes. So you want to know what is going on, what is that people do that we don't even pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked about at the beginning of the live, the wheat and tare is so familiar. They look so almost the exact same way. You know what I'm saying? There's only slight differences between the tare and the wheat that you can actually see. But looking at it, you can't see it. You would have to get up close to the wheat and the tare to actually see the difference. And that's exactly how people are in this day and time. That's exactly how righteous people and unrighteous people are. In some ways, they look the same, but they're not. And so we have to pay more attention, be vigilant about, observing and discerning. And, sometimes we want to think the best for people. We want to think that they're good, because we don't want to be judgmental, right? But sometimes it is what it is,
Yeah, that would be definitely a good topic to talk about, because right now they're trying to collect as many souls as possible, the wheats, the tares. Separate the wheats. Because if you look at the wheats, when it grows, it outweighs the tares. And now the tares is trying to outweigh the wheats when it comes to family, when it comes to currency and everything. Yeah.
And that's gonna be, and guess what? That's gonna be the name of the title, the wheat and the tare. So I'm really interested about that, because we're gonna move beyond this other stuff, because like I said, I think y'all got it, y'all platform. It's a little too deep for me. Again, I don't know a lot about the history, just hearing from you guys and observing a little bit, and I think that I think it's time to go into something a little different. So, because y'all got it. Yeah,
the big media platforms is talking about it. It was almost the case, which is crazy.
Yeah, like celebrities.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of weird stuff going on, and I would love for you guys to come back. I really would. Maybe sometime next week I'll get with the both of you, and we'll just take it from there on what will be a good day. I appreciate Brainwaves. I appreciate you, Rollo, as well. And everybody in the chat that came in, whether it was just to press the like button or just to stay around for a few minutes. I appreciate everybody that came in. I'm sorry I couldn't individually say hello to everyone, but I tried to at the very beginning to speak to people, but I just really appreciate you guys for at least staying around and hearing this information, this powerful information, because like I said, I am in awe, of everything. If you would like to support brother Brainwaves, please. I think I still have his Cash App pinned up at the very top if you would like to support him monetarily. Also sub up to Brainwaves as well as Rollo. We got Ringo in the chat. Thank you, Ringo, for showing up. We have Amber. Sub up to Amber. Amber, if you could put some of the content creators that I named, put their link in the chat so people can sub up to them. And this is interesting. Like I said, y'all blew my mind with all of this. I'm just like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What the hell? So I don't even want to go no farther with that for tonight. I think I need a break. So I need to go get some red wine.
Look, I know some people saw me drinking, but you know, it's just a Celsius drink.
Celsius drink. Okay.
Yeah, people probably thinking it's like, oh, I see him, he got a bottle or something in there just so they can see. No, it's just Celsius. There ain't no alcohol. I mean, not that I couldn't.
Trying to be in our business, what we drinking, what we.
Well, you know, I'm like this. Do everything in moderation. If you want to get you a glass of red wine, go get you a glass of red wine. The Bible just said, don't get drunk. So
I got plenty in the building here.
Right.
Beer, wine, all types of alcohol.
Right.
I really don't drink unless I'm out with people, you know, they having a drink or it's an occasion. And like even in my crib, we have an alcohol, but very rarely. Maybe we had a stressful day or something like that. It just be one of those days, maybe something just to help mellow you out, more so like wine or something. But I've been there and done that with that heavy drinking. I almost lost my life doing that. There's again a lot of experiences that I've been there. I made a commitment to the Most High. I said, if you spare me, you keep me from losing my life, being that intoxicated, I'll never do it again. So that's what I'm saying. I can speak to a lot of people on a lot of situations.
You definitely got a lot of experience and a lot of stories, and I want to hear some of them the next time.
Yes.
And same with you, Rollo, because like I said, I have always been attracted to the spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? And where there's good, there's gonna be bad. That's just life. You know, that's the universe that we live in. Good, bad, negative, positive. It's all universal. So just like you reaping what you sow, whatever you put out, that's exactly what you're going to get. So we got to be careful how we treat other people, first treat ourselves and treat other people. And if you can't deal with a person, I always look, you know me, I'm like, if I can't fool with you, I just can't fool with you. That's another thing I want to talk about. If you don't really like people or like a person, be honest about it. That's what I don't understand. I see a lot of that in not only just social media, but just in real life, everyday life. You will have people that will be smiling all up in your face, flattering you, and and they can't stand your guts. I can't stand people like that. Either I like it or I don't.
Yeah.
So
you know what's the crazy part about that?
Mm-hmm.
And Brainwaves, you're gonna laugh at this, Selena.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you done with somebody and you move on, they want you more.
It's probably not gonna show that good.
I gotta talk about that soon because
we can talk about that too.
I got some essays from the past on my channel.
Oh Lord, look at you, Rollo. Rollo, are you Haitian? Or are you West Indies or Haitian or something?
I'm so-called Jamaican, yeah.
Okay, you're Jamaican. Okay. Yeah, I've met a couple of Jamaicans. Not some of them. I ain't gonna say too much on that.
We don't gotta play games. We get straight to the point.
But some of them. I got one subscriber. He's Jamaican. And he I love that. What is that? It's not is it called Pato or what is that?
Patois.
Patois. Okay. I love that accents, and I love how you guys express, yourselves to each other. So that's kind of funny, and it's cute too. I really like it. You said Jamaicans. I see Rollo. Is Rollo okay? Rollo brainwaves. You're okay. I don't know what Goten talking about.
I got scripture to what you said, Selena, for anyone that wants to see. Everybody knows I bring Bible. I tried to show it on my phone, but it's doing too much right now. It might show, but anyway, it's Proverbs 27. I'm going to read verses 5 through 7. It says, "Open rebuke is better than secret love." People may not understand what rebuke means. It means to come out and say, if you have a problem with someone or something, a noun, we'll just say a noun. So it's better for a person to say, "I don't like you," like you said, than to secretly act like they love you. It says in verse 6, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." And then verse 7 says, "The full soul loatheth and honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet." So we need to be more accountable with that, with coming out. If you don't like somebody, just say that.
I sure will.
Like you cool with them, and they then later on you come out, "Well, I never liked you." I hate to kind of bring this up, but that's what was documented about how New Breed said he felt about me. He said he never liked me from the beginning. Okay, that's fine. So don't have me get involved in the business meetings and we on video chat together and the phone calls and the planning and being there at the land and all. Just tell me so I could have went home early, spent time with my family, and it's cool with me, but with other people, I'm just giving an example. Tell somebody you don't like them. You don't have to be disrespectful, but if you not feeling somebody, it's better to do that. They act like, "Oh, we cool. Hey, girl. Hey, what's up, man?" And all of that.
No, I don't. I don't. I don't have the time to, and neither do I care. So that's probably what gets me in trouble with other females. Sometimes I just don't. I don't bother with that. If I don't like you, you gonna know I don't like you. So
that's a good thing,
and that's okay. But yeah, I understood. He's not Middle Eastern, Goten. Right? Rollo, you're not Middle Eastern.
No.
Yeah, he's Jamaican. So that would be West Indies. So it said New Breed don't like me, brainwaves. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys for I'm finna get me I had a long day today, so I'm finna get me something first I'm gonna give me something to drink. I need to get me a cherry Coke Zero and I'll be all right. I just need to it's just a lot of information at once.
Make sure you put some oxtails with that. Some oxtails, some nice rice and peas.
Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh. But you guys, we're gonna get together next week. So well, first of all, would y'all be okay with it? I just told y'all. I'm just telling y'all, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can be a little bossy at times. But yeah, it's not look, it's all in love. But we're gonna get together next week and I'm gonna see what's a good day for you guys. And we're gonna talk a little bit about this. I think this is interesting, at least for me. Some people are not really into that kind of stuff, and I get it, I understand. But I believe you need to be aware of what is going on. Everything is not, you can't look at things in rose-colored glasses anymore. It is what it is. This is it's not a new world, but it's a lot of things that's going on that we are not aware of. And the church doesn't teach us all the time. The books don't teach us all the time. It's some stuff that's out here that we're going to be in awe about a lot of stuff. And since I have not really been in that world like you guys, every now and then you would say, "What's your sign?" and all that kind of stuff. And you would get a little bit into astrology because at one point I was so into astrology, and I had to kind of come out of it because I found out that it was actually associated with Black arts. But what I did not understand, that it's using the stars and stuff like that. And I said, well, that's created by God. But then I realized everything God does, the devil perverts it. He like, so that was the realization that I came into, because I was just into, I'm a Sagittarius and all this kind of stuff, and I was proud, and I was like, and that was when I was like, my early 20s. Then I kind of got out of it because I'm like, nah, I might be getting some attachments that I don't need and not supposed to have, And what I mean by that is some spiritual attachments that are not good.
Yes.
So I'm glad that I'm, waking up to that. So I really want us to talk a little bit about that type of world and, the world we cannot see. So I would love for you guys to come back and join me, Rollo, as well as Brainwaves. And thank you, Brother Ringo, for coming through. I really appreciate you. I really, really do. Thank you, Amber, Golden, Charity. I'm going to go back up here. We had Slim in the live. We had CX. I think I said Amber. We had Marissa. Thank you for coming through. We had, who else came through? Got to go back up. Golden was writing a lot. Christina. And we had Mac. Thank you, Uncle L. We had Kevin, Cutting Edge. L Boogie. Thank you so much for coming through. Shay, Miss V. Let's see. We had Shirley, Miss Shirley. We had Rachel, former Nancy. CC, thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate. And Black Ubiquity. And I think that was it. And we had Go Dog. Huh? Randy, we had Randy. Randy was in here. Hey, Randy. We had Gamma. Hey, Gamma. We had T1000. So if I missed your name, charge it to my head and not my heart. Each one of you are a blessing. Machine Fit, thank you for coming through. Each one of you have been a blessing just coming through. Like I said, either to press the like button. I appreciate that so much. And if you haven't pressed the like button, I hope when you're leaving out that you will press the like button. I really would appreciate it. And I'm gonna get you wonderful men to come back next week. And YJ, thank you. And Screenshot, thank you for coming through. So yeah, and Martin Show, thank you. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but again, charge it to my head and not my heart. And I will be getting back with you guys next week. So I'm excited about that and about that topic. And yeah, we're going to do this again. I hope everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Labor's Day. For those who celebrate holidays, I know you guys don't celebrate the pagan holidays. But for those who do, have a happy weekend and Labor's Day. I'm definitely going to enjoy my day off. I mean, anytime I have a day off, I am thankful to God. So I hope you guys have some barbecue or just chill out, be with your family and friends. And hey, Diane, thank you, Diane, for coming through too. Forgot you. So I think I got everybody. So I'm going to close it down. And do y'all have any last words before I get out of here?
Christina's here too. I don't know if you said her name. She
Christina. I said, oh, hey, Christina. I think I said Christina.
I probably did.
Yeah, I said Christina. Thank you, Christina. But let's see. Y'all have anything else y'all want to say?
Well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm going to go first. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Likewise, once again, talking to you, Brainwaves, and for the first time talking to Selena on her platform. It's a pleasure to be on here. Y'all just enjoy yourselves. Don't let these people stress you out, or be in fear. All this fear. I'm tired of this fear content. I'm really tired.
Right.
Boring SOBs. Hey, I'm Chelsea. Hi, how you doing? And if they don't say hello, I'm Chelsea.
Oh Lord, y'all are.
Stop falling for those chosen guys, man.
Yeah.
I'll talk to y'all another time. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for having me on.
Right.
All right.
Thank you,
Rollo.
Rollo.
Oh man.
Rollo crazy.
I mean, well, y'all will see that we have a sense of humor as well, because laughter is good for the soul. And
Right.
so I know there was a lot of information that is
Yeah.
talked about here on my platform. I talk about a lot of information, but it's there so that you can go back at the time or times that you feel comfortable with and assimilate it. Maybe you just want to listen to the first 5 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe it's the whole thing. And maybe you want to go back and listen to it again. Sometimes I listen to people's live streams multiple times. But regardless, even though we're sharing a lot of information, it's not for you to be in fear or anything like that. It's a form of education, and education is a form of empowerment. Anyone that remembers growing up in school, at least in the time I went to school, perhaps Selena went to school, Rollo, et cetera, we had on the walls, at the top of the walls, I remember looking up, sitting in the desk, because we only yay high, and it said knowledge is power. So we are sharing this knowledge with the hope that it would empower you and give you something. I never thought about that. Even if it's just for you in your own time to look in things, whatever the Most High would have you to look into, however little, however much, regardless of what we say, just because you heard it here. So we don't want y'all like stressing out, trying to make oh, wait a minute, okay, I heard this, and then like, no, just do whatever is appropriate or not do anything. Just whatever you're led to, but whatever you do, like Rollo said, please get some enjoyment. If you celebrate Labor Day or whatever, enjoy the time. I mean, with me, with holidays, because I, work in public safety in the school system, I get to partake of the time off. So anyone that works in the school system knows. My wife works in the school system. We enjoy having that time off.
I know I
we
do.
we take it as such. It's not so much about the holidays. We're like, hey, it's another time off to do whatever. Sometimes we make content, sometimes we don't, but just enjoy the time or times that you have. Find enjoyment in these times. Be around the people that bring you enjoyment, the things that bring you enjoyment, that brings you positivity and edification, and reevaluate the things and the people that don't. So if there's things and people that don't, that take from that bring you down, that disturb you, I don't care if it's me, then remove me out of the equation or whatever it is.
Right.
You have to do what's best for you. I'm not here to be like, come follow me, come follow me. Don't come follow me. You go follow the Most High. Now, I'm not going to refuse support. I'm not going to turn you away if you do come to me. But I'm saying, if I'm in some type of situation or something that disturbs you, then hey, take that break from me or whoever or whatever it is. And that's how you're going to know people that actually care about you, because they'll take the selfishness. What do they say? If somebody loves you, they'll let you go away. And if it's meant to be, they'll come back.
Right.
So I'm giving y'all that freedom to go away and enjoy the things you need to do. And if it's meant to be, you'll come around and just take that with anyone. So that's all I gotta say at this point. I could say a lot more, but I'm not.
No. No.
Not unless Selena asks me.
No, brainwaves. I'm telling you, I enjoy it though. You are really you're really a breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. I'm playing with you, but you do have you got a mouth on you.
Oh yeah. You have to.
But it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm just having fun, and I hope, and I know you take it that way. So it's just all jokes. But I appreciate you guys for coming up. And again, his link is pinned. I think I put it at the very top. And if you would like to bless him monetarily, please do. Brainwaves and even Rollo, y'all have given me a lot of information that I was not aware of. So it's just been an interesting night. I'm just say that. And
You can
I
tell the
just,
people too, Selena, if they're
uh,
looking, say, for Rollo's channel. If you happen to come across my channel,
mhm,
if you all go down to the featured channels, which is when you go to any YouTube channel homepage, if they
mhm,
have featured channels, you just scroll to the bottom. Not on when you click on videos or live streams, just go to the home tab, tap on that or click on that, come to the bottom, you'll see featured channels. So you can
okay,
find Rollo's channel there, Ringo's channel. I don't have Farmer Nancy. I need to add hers. I have Selena's on mine.
oh,
Obviously, if you're
thank
here, you know
you.
her platform. But just in case if somebody's looking for it and somehow they miss it here or you
Mhm,
can't get in touch with Selena, or just ask me, hit me up on social media. I don't care who it is. That's a part of what I do. I'll send it to y'all. If for
mhm.
some reason you're looking for someone and you need it or whatever, just as a little help, you never know what people struggle with, and they might remember that or something
Right.
to find
Thank
channels.
you. I didn't mean to do that.
Yes,
I didn't
look,
mean to
look,
do that. No,
that's a joke. That's a part. Look, that's a part of the joke, y'all, because I talk too
I
much.
didn't
Y'all
mean to
good?
do that. It. I don't have my mouse, so I don't have my mouse. I don't know where I put it. So
I
I've
love
been
it,
doing it.
Selena. That's so appropriate. I'm waiting to watch the replay just for that part.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I really did. I honestly, to God, I'm telling you, I did not. I'm not.
I
I'm not
know,
gonna.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna do you like that.
It's
But
all
no,
good.
all due respect, no. But I appreciate you so much for coming up. And I'm pretty sure the people appreciate you as well. So thank you so much for giving us your time. And time is very valuable. So thank you for that. I might can't always bless you monetarily, but definitely I will definitely support you and tell other people about your channel. And yeah, I mean, I just appreciate you. And I know sometimes words is not enough, but um definitely I'm telling you, once I get up there with the big folks,
Oh,
I'm always gonna bless brother Brainwaves, because you
I
were
appreciate that.
blessing.
I
Yeah, I
appreciate
really
that
do.
more than you
And
know,
other
Selena.
people. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't know about the big. I was just playing about the big people, but once I just feel like
Don't cancel that out.
what
That's
no,
don't cancel that out, Selena. Because that's what
yeah,
I
I
just
know.
heard the most high. I did d- receive what's meant for you to be. Okay. Some people are meant to follow certain paths, speak to certain people, and do certain things. So
Mhm.
remember what you are supposed to do. You're staying in your lane. Don't cancel out things that people may not understand. Remember, this is one of the reasons why some people at certain times may attack you because they see those things that are meant for you. So
Mhm.
we have to let the light of Christ shine. We've been taught to silence our light, dim our light, keep it down. That's not what
Right.
God created us to do. So let your light shine. If it's meant for you to interview and talk to big people, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Maybe we can drag Ringo up here one day.
I know, right?
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
drag him up here.
And
So that
he'll
would be
do it.
exciting.
He'll definitely get on. It's just that if anyone has been following this platform, he's kind of
Mhm.
under a time crunch where he's been going in hard in the paint to finish his studio. He's
Right.
literally built it himself, no help from the ground up. He showed a bit of that journey, and he kind of wants to get done now so that he can present it to everyone and then be free.
It
So,
looks
and
really
probably in
nice
the coming
before.
weeks.
Hmm.
He should
Hmm.
be definitely free to get on. Like he said, he just got finished going live. Then he's back to
Right.
building, so he's listening to your show. So for
Right.
anyone looking at Ringo, just understand that he's gonna get back. We all have moments like that. Please allow us grace while we're
Mhm.
growing and doing whatever with life to
Mhm.
give you the best that we can.
You know, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm definitely gonna get off. People do judge, especially content creators, how they. Now, some people are fools. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We know the ones that's fools that go on and on and on and on and can't shut the hell up, right? But we also know when things happen, um, you can't always judge how a person responds to what they're going through on here. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I had to let certain people know. You don't know how it feels to be on the other side of this. You're just tippity typing in the chat. But when you're actually up here and then you're dealing with people coming at you left and right and having to keep your composure or having to, you know, keep on your mission while being attacked and being lied on or whatever that's going on and trying to keep it together. Sometimes you're not logical. Sometimes you'll give people exactly what they're looking for. But and people will judge you for that. Well, you shouldn't move like, okay, put yourself in my shoes and then let's see. Okay. People really need to stop doing it. Don't judge what you haven't been through. And that goes with anything. I can't judge a drug addict. I can just tell them, well, I wouldn't do it. But at the same time, I can't tell them, you know, I don't know how it feels to be high. You know what I'm saying? And when they've been in pain and in their life and they didn't handle it the right way and they went to drugs and that drugs make them feel better about their life or what they're going through. I can't tell people that. And I just really hate that people judge, you know, some decent content creators that try to do the right thing, but things have happened. People come at you. How do you deal with that and not lose your head and keep it together? So there's a lot of different things we are all learning if we're trying to do it right. We're all learning how to deal with things properly. But I don't need for other people to tell me what I should do and how I should handle or react to something. That's what pisses me off about some folks. But, you know, let me get off of my soapbox and finish. But I
That
really,
sounds like another subject.
yeah, I can't stand it. So, you know, when some people be like, well, you should move on by now and all this kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, I done moved on. But at the same time, certain things, especially if you hear a certain person that continues to keep lying, then you're like, let me, you know, so
You know what it is, Selena? I'm going to say it like this. We're content creators and we have a job to do. When you do your job, if you have a job to do you stop your job midway, 3/4 of the way, 90% of the way, or do you finish it into its entirety? What kind of worker would that make you if you stop? So us as content creators, we have a job to do. So until that job is finished, we're not going to stop. Now, maybe you think it's finished, but you're not in the shoes, like Selena says. You're not doing the job. So unless you work this job, for people that work this type of job, they understand what it is. They get it. But if you've never been employed in this type of industry, and you never worked this type of job, you don't really know. You might think you know until you're actually here. So that's some of the reasons why people say you shouldn't talk about this. You should come work and find out for yourselves.
Exactly. And Speaks, here you was in the bushes. How long you been in the bushes? Yeah, he was in the bush talking about troll the offenders.
Oh,
yeah, now that's one of the biggest trolls. Speaks.
Shout out to Speaks. What's up, Speaks?
Oh, he been in here about an hour with his little nose. Nah, just kidding. That's my boy. I like messing with him.
Yeah, Speaks cool.
Yeah, he really is. He's
knowledgeable.
Really a cool brother.
Very knowledgeable too.
Very, very. I'm telling you, I'm surrounded by some really good brothers. So I thank God for that. Okay. I really do. But I'm gonna get out of here because it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't know where you so look, I gotta get out of here.
If I was at home, it'd be 11 right now, but fortunately it's just 10. So
oh Lord, but I had a great time. Oh, okay. You didn't. Okay. Yeah. So, but I love you to Reese's Pieces. I love everybody to Reese's Pieces. I don't have to know you to love you. So I appreciate you guys for coming through, showing some support to me, Brother Brainwaves, as well as Rollo for coming through. I really appreciate you guys. I will talk to you guys later. Just keep I would just say push the notification button so when the next time I go live, you will know. Okay. So like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me get my outro going. And thank you. Thank you so much.
All right,
And
see
talk to you
y'all.
guys.
All right.
Salina.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl, can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl, put them heels on and prove.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers, just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana boo boo.